Is that better? There we are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I forgot to turn on my mic. How are you? Hey, Steve and Rim. Hey, Jose. Hey, Bill. Welcome, everybody. And I want to welcome our friend, Mr. Dutchdude. Dutchdude is the main developer for the ZeroG Mercury One, along with a team. And I'll let him get into that, who's on the team and that kind of thing. So awesome. We're hoping that this will be the final. We're going to print with this today. So we're going to finish up a few things and just kind of chat with Dutch as we're building. So I will try to pay as much attention to chat as normal, but realize that it's going to be a little more difficult. So a couple of quick housekeeping things before we bring Dutchdude on and let him talk. There is a Polymaker Filament giveaway today. The link is in the description, and the pin post must be here. Same as usual, we'll do it at the 3-hour mark. So, Dutch, welcome. Thanks for being here. This is awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
So ZeroG, Mercury One. You want to tell us a little bit about it, about yourself, what the project is?
Yeah, sure. So my name is, or they call me Dutchdude. And I'm Dutch and a dude.
And before we get too far, can everybody hear Dutch? Let's just make sure, because I didn't turn my microphone on at the beginning. So let's just make sure everybody can hear Dutch. You just spoke. Let's just get a confirmation. Yep. Okay. So we're good to go. So sorry about that. No
problem. Yeah. So I'm Dutchdude. I started the development of ZeroG and the 5 conversion to CoreXY, and it's grown quite a bit big, to be honest. And yeah, I don't know. What do you want to know?
So Mercury One, what is this? We've talked about it quite a bit on the stream. It's based on an Ender 5.
Yeah. What? Yeah. So the Mercury One is a Ender 5. Well, a lot of machines can run it nowadays with square frames, but an Ender 5 conversion to CoreXY. It's not the most expensive conversion, so if people have an Ender 5 in a corner collecting dust and they want to try CoreXY, it's a nice little conversion to do. And yeah, it's the version 2 of the Mercury. We started off back in the day as a Voron inspired mod print or something like that, and it's become its own thing, running EVA 2.4, and it's ever evolving. We also have the Hydra system nowadays, 3-point kinematic system. And the nice thing about this setup is it's basically all options. So if you don't want the CoreXY system, you can go for the kinematic system. The other way around, whatever you like.
Okay, awesome. So there are things to be done, things to continue building on here. So we're just gonna kind of go through and complete things and chat along the way. Don't feel like you have to be constantly talking. That's okay. So I think where we left off last week, we had, oh, there goes Charlie. So he's gonna start his rounds. We flashed firmware to the Manta E3 EZ board that I'm using in here, and cleaned up the wiring a bit. So off camera, what I've done is confirmed that my display is going to work, and then we're going to have to mount it back up here with its little ribbon cables. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with getting the display back on here, peel the protective coating off the display, and go from there. So I want to say hi to a few people. So we got Maker Viking. Hi, Tina, Delmar, Bruno. How's everyone doing? Mr. V8 Rick and Smoles. First layer, welcome. I saw Poity. Hey, Paul, welcome. Toho's. So, okay, let's get moving. So everybody likes a peel. I don't know how good it's going to be, but we got to pull this because we have to put the display cover on it. And I guess you're going to have to, a little bit of anticipation because Charlie wants out. So let me let Charlie out first. He's going through his cycle. Gary, thanks for the gift of membership. Hey, Sean. Okay, so we're just gonna get this going and pull. Look how clean that is. That can go away. So do you run a display on your Mercury One?
At the moment I don't, but I might put a little touchscreen on there.
Yeah, this works out pretty well. I'm pretty pleased. So I made this mount for the Big Tree Tech HDMI 5 display, and I modeled this up. This is the structure of the mount, and then there's a cover for it. But it kind of requires that we use these little PCB right angle ribbon cables. I had trouble with this last night though, because I had a bad right angle HDMI connector. So I stole this from the Micron and ordered some new ones. So you might not be able to at Dutchdude if he's not in the YouTube chat. So, hey Kyle. So yeah. Common look where I bought these connectors is Amazon. I just searched for PCB HDMI connector or something like that. You can also buy them if you're in the States, Adafruit outside the US, I'm not quite sure. But the frame here bolts to the display, and then we get a display cover that will screw in from the back on here. And this just uses some M2 self-tappers. So you don't run a display. So you use just you run Klipper, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I'm running Klipper, and I just use my phone when I start a print, check out if everything starts well, and then just leave it going.
There you are. Now you're in chat. Now you can be tagged. If you don't want to pay attention to chat, I'll let you know when you get tagged.
That works. I've got it open on my screen, so.
Hey, NYX code. Is that Nick's code or NYX? I am live. We are going to finish this up. So let me get this on here, and then we'll get the thing powered on and start doing the EBB36 configuration. Looks kind of like V02 display. Was that where you drew your inspiration? A little bit, and I also went from the what I did on the Micron. So the display screws in from the back, some extra bosses here, and then this, and then it still has the little buttons down here that are accessible. So now we'll get this thing on the printer. Hey, Double T. Banana 3D Printing says hi.
Hey, Banana.
Hey, BBs. Had the same problem with the right angle connector you linked. It just doesn't work. Bought something different and it worked. Yeah. So I have very little experience with those connectors. So I've had one of two fail. So I ordered 3 more of the same type that the let's see if I can get this arranged here so we can actually see what I'm doing. Of the same type that worked. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, this just bolts into the front here. Now, as part of this display, no, I tried every orientation there, Kyle. I tried everything. And fortunately, I had an extra piece, so I was able to troubleshoot it that way. So part of this display setup, I did do a custom bottom panel here with just an extra cutout here, just to ensure there's enough room for the ribbon cables to slide through without kinking. And these ribbon cables are going to be far too long for my setup, so they'll just kind of bunch up and underneath. But those go like that. I use 180-degree adapters on my HDMI 5 display. That would work for the HDMI port on my setup here. I don't think that would fit for the USB-C. It might, depends on the adapter. What you need is some Charlie's hair. Ugh. this thing starts getting heavy with the bed on it. Still not too bad.
Imagine having a full frame with panels.
Well, yes, this is true. Okay, so we're gonna plug this in. So we're just gonna plug the HDMI, mini HDMI port on the board, and then USB. Unfortunately, since we're not needing a CAN to USB adapter on this, we don't need any other USB. It's just one USB. So let's power it on. Are we ready to power it on?
No magic smoke?
Well, we tested for magic smoke last stream.
Oh, right.
So it's powered on many times. Hey, Johan. Hey, Justin. I can't wait until I can finish my Hydra. Just need a few more pieces. And that's one of the nice things about this setup. So how long after, what made you decide that this needed Hydra needed to happen?
The floppy bed on the Ender 5, the cantilever bed, it's just when you print anything with infill, you will hear it running across that infill. Doesn't matter how high the layers get, just something that's a flaw on the cantilever bed. On the Ender 5, that is.
Yeah.
And, well, then we did had a version of the Hydra before, which was basically alpha testing, which we took back offline because it wasn't completely done in a safe way. And then Turtle joined our team of developers, developments, and he wanted to make a 3D point kinematic system because he thought he could do a better job, and I'd say go for it, and he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, the parts look great. They print well. So so you mentioned Turtle. Turtle is a member of your team now. Is it you and Turtle? Is there anyone else on the team?
Well, for the development, currently it's me and Turtle, although he does most of the cat work these days because I'm focused on the documentation.
Okay.
Needs to be done. Don't like to do it, but it has to be done. Yeah. And maybe in the future we'll expand. There is people that do awesome community mods, and we might ask them to join someday.
Yeah. And you've got folks that have been kind of testing pre-release things, like Scott, part of that group, and I don't know who else.
Yeah, so Scott is our chief destructive test officer. That's his rank.
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and he builds everything quite quick. And if somebody can break something, it's him.
It's gonna be him.
Yep. So we get to testing quite well and fix the little bugs. But as we push the parts out, there's always little things that show up and needs fixing. So that will happen as well.
Sean, it says Sean saying apparently my question is being filtered out. What question was that? Is it? You can post it in my Discord channel if you want, and let me know when you do that so I can check it. Enclosure. Someone's asking enclosure release when? I gotta put my phone away, otherwise we're gonna.
All I
end up
can
with
say
moderators.
is soon, but it's not really soon. We're working on
Soon
design
trademark?
stuff still. Yeah, soon trademark. Yeah, it's not something we're gonna be pushing out that soon. It's something we wanna finish before we push it out. With the Mercury One, I was basically in a beta for 1 year, because I tried to push the files out there as soon as possible. But we've learned from that, and sometimes it's better to delay some stuff and make sure it works before you push it out.
Yeah. Someone is asking, I realize this might be a sensitive question, but are there clear advantages of this Z-axis design over a Trident, or vice versa? So be careful with your answer here. Know who you're talking to.
Who's gonna answer that?
I'm gonna take a pass on that one and say we'll see. Let's print with it. This is a cool design. The arms are fairly beefy. The trucks, the pivot points, I think are clever. You can see them here. I think the pivot ball and everything stays in place. What I really like about this is the bed's not gonna fall out when you turn it over on its side to work on it. So we will see how it works in practice, right? You've had good luck with it and other builders have had good luck with it. So I expect to have good luck with it.
Yeah, I've not had any issues with it so far. It's been working great.
Mm-hmm. Steven says, do you know what grabbed my eye? To be honest, this is the first printer I can recall ever seeing with a power switch in the front. Yes. Power switch is in the front. I was a little worried about running AC current across the electronics bay, but it is well contained. It's as safe as it can be. Let's see. Just on Discord. PF Dennis, thanks for the gifted memberships. So anybody, so let's take a little bit of a sidetrack because yesterday was a whole lot of fun. And I am wearing another Star Trek shirt to make up for my misspeak yesterday. So, but we, in the Charlie's Angels member stream, we built a foam dart blaster, and that was a whole lot of fun. So anybody who's just getting a gifted membership, be sure to go check that out. It was fun. So, and I'll show it here real quick. This is what we built. So it is a foam dart blaster. It is not something that should be worried about. It projects these little short versions of the darts, and it will do that at 190 plus feet per second, which will from about 8 feet away poke holes in a filament box.
I need to build one of those.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Mostly I wanted to do that little segue for my little joke there. So anybody who was here yesterday, I'll get the joke. Yesterday's stream was a blast. Okay, where was I? We've got a display on. I did, here, let me, zoom back out. I did install Klipper screen off camera just to confirm everything was working, and we're gonna get a Charlie visit here. Yeah. What were you just saying? What was your last thing? Because I'm all over the place right now. Okay, there we are. Charlie's gonna get his little snuggles, and then we'll put him down. Yeah, what were you saying before we got the gifted memberships come through?
I lost it.
I did too. That's okay. We'll move on. We were talking about the bed, things I like about it. Yeah. We'll see how it works out. It looks like, so a Ender 5 ends up, from Creality, Ender 5 is a 220 millimeter square build surface, right? And what do we get an advantage on that from here, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bigger bed, but you can add print on the whole bed. It basically has a keep out zone built into the firmware.
Yeah, the Ender 5, the Ender 5 Pro. So that's one thing. This Mercury One can be done to an Ender 5 Pro or an Ender 5 Plus. So I'm doing the Ender 5 Pro upgrade.
And I've seen some people that made build logs do it on a Trunksy as well. So
oh, okay.
Cool.
Anyway, what I was getting at is when you go to the Mercury gantry, you can hit the full 235 millimeters on an Ender 5 bed, right?
Yeah.
Because the actual build surface on a Ender 5 is 235, same as an Ender 3. And then when you go to the Hydra kit, you can get significantly more.
Yeah, which 275 being the max that Fabrico sells, and then 255 being the more common option.
Okay, so I have a 275 plate, and playing around with this and getting prepared for today, it looks like I'm going to be able to get a full 275 in X and about 265 in Y. Is where I'm guessing I'm going to be. Now, when you, what's the size on an Ender 5 Plus?
Hector sells those at 410, but we recommend 377 by 370.
Okay.
That's the full bed.
That's a big printer.
That's a big bed. I've got a bed downstairs I can grab and show you, but it's huge.
And someone asked about kits, and right now, is it just Hector Fabrico doing kits for these, or are there other kits out there?
So Hector was with us at like one of the first persons, so he's got nothing to show the other people. So worldwide it's probably just him. There is some AliExpress vendors making some stuff, but they're not full kits. They are mostly like hardware or rails, not one full package.
Okay. Okay. Gotta love the metric system. If even the Americans can use it. Has anyone done a Hydra on an Ender 6? I don't know. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen one, but I can look up the frame and tell you if it's possible.
Ender 6 is the one that Joel took a Sawzall to, right?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. There's Charlie back. Hope Hector gets a 275 plates in stock. He's the only one that does them. Yeah, and this is a cool 275 plate. It's got the locating pins at the back for the oh, Joel cut up an Ender 7, not an Ender 6. Got it. Locating pins on the back for the build plate, indexing pins. So this is the latest one from Fabrico. Ender 6 is already CoreXY. Okay. So this plate did come, the plate that I have here did come from Fabrico. Most of this build, there are some exceptions, was sponsored by Fabrico. The electronics were sponsored by, or most of the electronics were sponsored by Big Tree Tech. Odds and ends I purchased myself or had on hand. So it's a good place to be. I'm active in other parts of the community as well, though. Also hang out with the people on my Discord. Yeah. Okay, so let's get moving. The next thing that needs to happen is I need to get firmware on the EBB 36. So I'm using a Big Tree Tech EBB 36 toolhead board. Have you used one of those, Dutch?
EBB 36. It's actually currently on my printer. Nice.
Do you have it configured with CAN boot and that kind of thing?
I did configure it with CAN boot. I just updated the other day, so it's working well. I just don't run my heater to it because those little small connectors that you had trouble with as well. Yes,
that was a bear, but we're gonna go with it anyway. So let me grab my keyboard and post a link in chat, and we're gonna follow these instructions that Doc and Tina have come up with for flashing this. We used those for the Manta E3 EZ last week. So let me copy this page in. We're gonna go here, which is let me paste this here. There we go. We're using a BTT TFT screen for Klipper screen of size. So this is the Big Tree Tech, and this is one I bought. So the Big Tree Tech didn't supply this screen, I bought it. It is the HDMI 5. And even though I'm using an actual Raspberry Compute Module 4 in the Manta board, now take one more step back. When you use a Manta board with a CB1, the Big Tree Tech CB1, you can't use the DSI or the CSI connectors, and that's the display, the little ribbon cable for the display or the camera. Hey, KB3D. You have to use HDMI for a display in that case. When you use the Compute Module 4, you do get access to those connectors. So I could have used a DSI connected display. However, Modbot is using a CB1 on his and is using the same HDMI 5 display. So I bought the same one so I could model up a mount for both of us to use. And that's the story there. We lost the dude. Oh, we did. Where you at? Are you here? Oh, why don't I have you in the scene? Okay, let me fix this. You can be heard. You won't be, There you are. Okay, let's go through all the scenes. Here, we've got let me point this here. We've got a new close-up camera we're trying out. You're there, you're in the overhead scene, and you're in this scene. Awesome. Okay. Not sound? No sounds on him. Hold on. They don't, and I see why. How do I fix that? So they're gonna hear you here. Let me unhide all. And is that, can you talk now? Nope, they won't be able to hear you right there. Why can't they hear you? What is going on? So bear with me, folks. This is not going to be great if they can't hear you. That's not correct. Okay, they can hear you here. What is this? That's there. What do you think about the printer Rook? It's a neat little printer. No, it's not a YouTube issue. This is a OBS issue. I don't have things set up. And I don't have the scene set up properly. So let me see why it's not showing up here. Okay. You try talking now?
Yeah.
There you go. Should be able to hear you now.
Cool.
So let's get some confirmation. I think I got it. Are you want to say something?
Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Hey, there we go.
Okay. We may need to fix this depending on the others things, but we are back in business. Okay. So we're going to follow these instructions. I put a link to where we're at. So let's get this going. So we're going to set up CAN boot first. So, keyboard. Hey, Super Goober. Tested on my E3 Easy with CB1 and it works fine. So I tend to stay away. I don't like resistive touchscreens in general. So if I have an opportunity to run a capacitive touchscreen, I'm going to. So I know you can use a resistive screen with the E3 Easy and CB1, but I prefer to, if there's a capacitive option, then that's where I'm gonna go. So, who do we got? We got someone taking off, Chewy taking off. Okay, so let's bring up a command window. We'll bring this over here. Let's put this right here, and we're gonna SSH into the Mercury One. Just SSH username at printer name and my super secret password. I haven't changed it yet to my normal printer password, but that's okay. So first step we're gonna do is we're gonna download CAN boot and we're gonna clone the CAN boot repository. So we're going to copy this command and paste this one. And that'll clone the CAN boot files into the local machine. The password is password. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on what the requirements are. Hey, William. Work late out early. That's nice. We got a 3-day weekend here. I'm gonna use my 3-day weekend. Tomorrow is gonna be digging. I'm gonna be digging a foundation for a shed. So.
With a shovel?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I only have to dig about a 14 by 12 area down about 4 inches. So this actually, among other choices, makes me want to get the Ender for my daughter to mess with, so she leaves mine alone. There you go. Where am I from? I am in California. I'm in the Sacramento, California area. So, okay, so CAN Boot is copied. And now we're gonna add CAN Boot. Oh, we're gonna add CAN Boot to our Moonraker config. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's follow through the process. So we have a broken install here still. Why do I not have? Let me reload this. There we go. Because I had copied a bunch of files there and they weren't showing up. So in our Moonraker config, we're going to paste our update manager to the bottom. There we go. And save and close that. That's why you had us on manual labor. Oh, I'm sure I'll get him out there to help. Is the Mercury cheaper than Trident? If you add everything up and you did the full thing, how close do you think? How much do you think this would cost to do this?
If you get everything from a kit, then well, depends if you already have the Ender 5, really. But I'd say the Mercury and Hydra will probably set you to, if you have the Ender 5, that will probably cost you around 500 to 550 maybe.
For all 3 things?
Well, Mercury and Hydra, but then you still have to get the pie, the boards, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And the steppers probably.
Okay.
I think if you have a broken Ender 5 or get a cheap frame, you'd probably be, including Hydra, 700-800 euros probably, or dollars, whatever you're at.
Okay, so it's probably a little cheaper than a full Trident build.
Yeah, the Hydra. That's a little
The Hydra
bit of money
adds,
to it.
well, because you have three rails in there. The 3 rails adds a bit.
Well, more.
So it might be about equivalent, you think, then, to a Trident build, price-wise?
I don't know. What do Tridents go for nowadays?
Well, an LDO kit, I think, is probably $1,200 to $1,500. But LDO kits tend to run a little high.
Yeah, so that will be a little bit, well, actually way more than a fully set up.
So we went into the CAN Boot folder, and then we're going to make menu config. We're just following these instructions. So I'm going to try to follow this along. We have a STM32, and it is the 32GB G0B1. Trident depends on size, but about 2,000 for the Gucci 350 version. I'm building a Merc ZeroG on a Tensor 3D stock Voron 2.4 frame. So far, no big issues. Well, that's interesting. How much customization did you have to do, Timor? Because this has the 2040 extrusions that you're not going to have in that 2.4 frame. Okay. CAN Boot deployment. Build CAN Boot deployment application 8K bootloader. 8K bootloader. And then 8 megahertz crystal and PB0, PB1. This is CAN bus on PB0, PB1. Right there. I think my first Voron I built, self-sourced, was, and because of shipping from multiple locations and stuff, I think it was around over $2,500. And that was almost 4 years ago. Okay. Now, I'm trying to navigate the stuff on the screen. Application start offset is 8K, 500,000 CAN bus speed, support bootloader entry on rapid double click of reset button is checked. Enable status. Enable bootloader on button or GPIO state. That's not listed. Enable status LED on PA 13. Okay. That should be good. So we're gonna quit and save. Hey, James. How many printers have you made at this point? How many printers have you made, Dutch?
How many are finished? Or I have the V0 or V0.2 now. I've got the Merc. I built a V Minion, but I sold that one since I didn't have room for it anymore. And I built a Merc before, so probably about 4 or 5.
Okay.
Still have 2.
I think in terms of built printers, let's not talk about rebuilds because I've rebuilt several of them. I'm probably in the range of 24 or 5 built printers.
That's quite a bit.
Hi, Alexander. And Gabs Labs, CAN Bus. CAN Bus is a 2-wire communication interface that we've kind of adopted. 3D printing community is kind of starting to pick up in its use, just for simplified wiring and such. It's most commonly used in the automotive industry. It's controller area network. Is that what its CAN stands for? So, do they ever get finished? No. And Alexander, currently we're flashing the EBB36. We flashed the E3EZ last stream. So, Steve builds a lot. Yep. Now, if you go into rebuilds, we're well into the 30s if you count rebuilds. So, just a couple. Okay, so the screen looked like that. We saved it, and now we're gonna do the make clean and make. Make clean and make. Now the thing that's kind of neat about these instructions is the animated examples. It'll show you what things are supposed to look like. Morning, Andrew. Hi, Marcel. So, with this many builds, what's been your favorite? Well, Trident, of course. Come on. There's lots of terms to learn. Oh yeah, for sure. The learning curve can be steep. Okay, this finished. So it created a hex file. So now flash CAN boot. First, you have to put the board into DFU mode. To do this, press and hold the boot button and then disconnect and reconnect the power supply, or press the reset button on the board. Okay, so we're gonna get around here. Arthur, thanks for the gifted memberships. Which Trident though? My first one. Definitely the first one, the dev one. So let me see what I can do here. We've got the printer here and it's powered on, so I need to be careful where I rotate it. And then I think I can move this up here. Maybe zoom in. There we go. There's the Toolhead board. So what I want to do, we need to put it into DFU mode. It's because it's powered right now because we've got our CAN cable connected. So I'm gonna get a couple of things, preferably non-conductive things, that I can press these buttons with. Maybe bits of filament. Here's a bit of filament. And I don't want to accidentally short anything out. Hey, I've got a broken Apple Pencil. That'll be perfect. Autofocus at its best. Is it being terrible? Yeah, there's lots. It's trying to focus on the. Yeah, maybe it'll focus there. Can you post up the site that you're getting those instructions from? I did. Let me see if it's still in my. Here, let me Let me post it again. Hey, MakerSource. There we go. That's where we're at right now. So I want to press and hold the boot button and then press the reset button. So here's the boot button up here. Press and hold, then hit the reset button and then let go of the boot button. And we should be in DFU mode now. So if we go back here, get things moved around. We go back here and run DFU util-L. We should see a device in. We do not. We do not see a device in. Oh, I need to plug in via USB, huh? I need to actually run this in USB. I can't run it off of CAN Boot. I need to plug in a USB cable. Let me grab a USB cable. That's where my problem is. Plug in a USB cable, USB-C. There. USB, yep. Thank you. Folks are reminding me in chat that I forgot the USB cable. So let's see if that'll just show up now. Found DFU. Does this look correct? Looks correct. LS USB, yep, I've used that before too. There we go. We've got a 0483 DF11 STM microelectronics in DFU mode. There we go. Okay, cool. If DFU util can discover a board in DFU mode, it should look like this. Yep. If your board is in DFU mode, you can flash CAN boot with the following command. So let's copy this. And, oh, I guess it just did it. It copied the carriage return at the end. So I copied and pasted that command. It looks like it was successful. And this little animation shows what you should have seen. Dutch is sitting in the workshop, I think, so he won't show the mess in the back. That is very true. Very observant.
It's too much. It's too much. I'm ashamed.
Now press the reset button and the flash process was successful. One LED should blink now. I'm not going to be able to easily show that, but let's reset. And one LED is blinking. So I think I can, we're not going to be able to need to update, so I can unplug the USB. We're done with that. This CAN boot is on there. Update CAN boot. Since the board can be addressed via CAN, further CAN boot updates must also be flashed to the board via CAN. Okay, so now we need to get Klipper on it. So CAN boot is on it. Let's go to the Klipper link over here. So let's go to back here and let's go to Klipper and make menu config. So we're going to follow these instructions here, set the following settings, and I'm just going to, there, that'll work. So STM32, it's a GB01, 8K bootloader, 8 megahertz crystal, CAN bus on PB0 and 1, 500, and there. So we'll just mirror what the instructions say. Lost track of time. Thanks for Discord message. Hope I didn't miss much. Nope, we're just getting things kind of finalized before we go through the setup process. So quit and save. Make clean and then make. So make clean and make. Double check the speed of the crystal. 8 megahertz is what it should be. Let's double check that I had that right and I didn't miss it. So you've been working on an enclosure for the Mercury One?
Yeah, we've been working on that for a while. It's so Scott has 2 of them, I have 1 of them, and Turtle has a bunch of them. And now we invited Digital Dragon, which I met at Rocky Mountain.
Awesome.
At Rep Fest, and he's actually building one on his streams as well. So that's quite cool. I'm getting some feedback from the people.
Digital Dragon, you said?
Yeah, he's in the chat as well.
Does he has stream on YouTube or Twitch?
I think he does Twitch, yeah.
Okay. Okay, we don't care then. No. I'm just kidding.
It works that way, yeah.
Someone mentioned that I may not have had the clock reference crystal correct. It looks like I did, so I just wanted to double check there. CAN is very nice. The more things you can string into it, the more worthwhile it becomes. Will Dutch talk a little bit about the roadmap of the Merc as far as what's next? What's next with Merc?
Documentation.
That's great. That's
yeah.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, we got the enclosure coming, and then we're probably going to build our own printers fully from scratch as well. Getting a little bit of our own thing going instead of having to base everything on something.
Mm-hmm.
Gets rid of the restrictions.
So the instructions here say we're going to flash Klipper via CAN. We're going to run this script to get the UUID. Now we probably are going to end up with two UUIDs because I've got the other controller here. So let's see what this comes up with. Yeah. So the 76, I remember 76. Oh, and this is a good thing. So Klipper is the controller. So let's do this. Let's grab this while we're here. Let's grab this and put this in our printer config for the MCU. Put that there. Save and close that. And then come back to where we were. Okay, with the UUID you have just read, you can now flash the board with this command. -U and then the UUID at the end. So let's go here and then grab, are you able to see that? There we go. And then grab this UUID, which is CAN boot, and paste that, and it should flash. Yep, there we go. Ooh, kitty cat. What's kitty cat's name?
Yeah. Max, actually.
Max?
Yep.
How old is Max?
Named after 2 years now.
Nice.
Almost 2. Yeah, almost 2.
You said named after?
Yeah, Formula 1, Max Verstappen, because he's quick.
Formula 1.
Yep.
Chuck is asking, are you plug in the CAN directly into the Easy Board? I am. So thanks to Tina here in chat and Doc, they've given me these instructions for using the CAN directly on the E3 Easy. So it did not need to use the U2C board that was sent. So is Max quite a energetic cat?
At times, he has his sleepy moments, but he will run across the room, and you'll think he's crazy.
Okay, let's grab this other UUID CAN, Control-C, and put this in the config as well for the EBB36. There. And save and close. So now that was successful, and then we add the MCU in Klipper. Oh, we can get the temperature sensor, so let's grab this, the embedded temperature sensor on the EBB36. Let's add this to our controller, or our config, so we can monitor its temperature.
Just gotta say hi to Sanity.
Oh, hey, Sanity. Okay, that there. And what else do we do? If you don't know the UUID of your EBB, you can read it out in the following command. We already did that. So I think we're good. Are we ready to see if the config works? Let's see if the config works. Let's save and restart. The main I did was testing. Doc and the other guy did the instructions. Oh, awesome. Who's the other guy? Not in the chats? Hey, Pex Peppers. Okay, so unknown pin chip name EBB. So apparently I have a chip name in there I did not define correctly. So let me turn this around and let's start working through the errors. So up here in the corner, it says unknown pin chip name EBB. So in my printer config, I probably have somewhere where I didn't, oh yeah, here, temperature sensor. This should be EBB36. Sensor MCU, EBB36 here, right?
Yep.
I think that, let me see if that takes care of that one. Okay, so now we have invalid pin description, and I have the, so the text behind chat here is invalid pin description EBB36 caret PB6. I need to move that caret. It's in the wrong location. So let's go to caret PB6. So if we go to printer config and now search for PB6, and here it is right here, right here. So this needs to go over here. And I don't know where else I'm gonna have that problem, but that was just typos. So now we're gonna save and restart, and we're just gonna rinse and repeat. Save and restart until we're done with the errors. So pin PA15 is used multiple times in the config. So let's go in here and search for PA15. And let's see what PA15 is used for. So stepper Y direction pin, where else is it? Oh, stepper Z direction pin. So that's a problem where I misread the pin out diagram, I think. Mad Shammy, thanks for the gifted memberships. Save and restart until it works. Yep. So either stepper Y or stepper Z, I've got the wrong direction pin set up. So let's go to the GitHub page for the Manta 3 EZ, which I'm going to paste into chat. And we're going to just go to hardware and the pin diagram. And we'll let this load up, and it is, let's download this and then open it. There we go. So this over here is what we're looking for. So for Y, the direction pin is PA15. For Z, it's PD4. So that's where my problem is. Z, this should be PD4. And then save and restart. Hey, we've got a happy config now. Oh, Mateo, of course. Mateo's on the Voron team as well. Very familiar with meet you, Mateo, I don't know. Okay, we have a happy configuration. We've got a temperature from the EBB showing up at 29.6 degrees. The heater pad and the extruder are showing. So now we can just kind of go through our first checks. To do that, do you have a first checks documentation? Do you have any kind of thing set up yet? I know you're probably working on it.
For the firmware?
Just for first startup. So that's fine.
I don't.
So what I like to do, go ahead.
What I usually do is I home X and Y, and then I make sure the nozzle goes to the front left corner of the bed, and then set up everything else.
Okay. I'm going to go into a little more detail than that. I usually go to Klipper, and if we go to klipper3d.org, right? And just for those following along, I just went through this 2 days ago on my Voron EBB SB2209 and tap and Rapido upgrade. That's a lot to do, Chuck. Did it work out well? Anyway, at klipper3d.org, if you go to documentation and you can go to config checks, So this is kind of a good first go through this first check. Temperatures are showing up okay. We saw verify M112. I don't care. Heaters are looking okay. Stepper motor enable pins. We're going to do some stepper buzzing. But right here first, we're going to do end stops. So if we go to the main cell interface and go to machine, down here is our end stops, and we can query them right now. And all of them are open. And Dutch, you're going to still be heard. Yeah. But I'm going to turn off your display here just for a minute.
Yep.
So all of these are open. So if I reach over here and just close the X end stop with my finger and reset, end stop X is triggered. So we're good. If I reach back and just close the Y end stop with my finger and refresh, end stop Y is triggered. So, and then Z, we're gonna have to, it is, let's put the clicky on there, and it is triggered right now. So that means that we're inverted. So it should be open. If I push on the button on the switch for clicky and refresh, it's open. So what we want to do now to fix that is go into the probe pin in the config, and we're gonna change, it's currently inverted. We're gonna remove that inversion. Remove the exclamation point to make it not inverted, and save and restart. Hey, pushing plastic. Hey, Gideon. So now if we refresh, the probe is open, and if I click, it should trigger. Yep. Looks like it's lunchtime and the wife wants to go out, be back later. You got 2 hours for the filament giveaway, Sean. So be back within 2 hours. Don't be polar Ted. Okay, so all the end stops are working now. So now we can get into stepper buzzing and make sure that all the steppers move. So if we go back to the config checks, verifying the stepper motors here, we will do a stepper buzz, and we'll just start with stepper X. We'll copy this. Filament giveaway. I need as much as I can get. There you go. So link is in the description and a pinned post. So now we can go over to back to our main cell interface, and here we can stepper buzz. And let's see what we can do here to show this. Let's see if I can get my fancy new camera here. Ah, nice. So does that look better than the Logitech I had before? It looks better to me. Can't see Dutch anymore. He's not at his computer anyway. He had to go do something.
Well, I'm here on the microphone. I just had to put some dinner in the microwave.
Yep. The bridge mode gave me trouble. Here we can. Oh, there you are. You're back. The install is a little different on the M8P board. The basic BTT install does not work. I had to do some research, but I figured it out. Good. Awesome. Okay. So we're going to do the stepper buzz, and I just put the camera there so we can actually see, hopefully see it buzzing. So stepper, this one should be the one that moves. Yep. That's the one that's moving. Yep. The stepper B is moving. Now, something I want to double check. These Fabrico steppers are 1.8 degree. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep, the 1.8.
Okay. Let's double check and make sure, because the config I copied this from. Let's make sure that I don't have these set to, and I do. So right here at full steps per rotation, 400 is for a 0.9 degree stepper. You want 200 for a 1.8. So let's change both of these, X and Y, to 200. So Tuxedo, what happens because it is CoreXY, it moves diagonally. But the Y I felt while it was there was not moving at the same time. Ballistic tech. So the new camera I have here is a Dell. Here, I got a neat little small rig tripod too, but it's this Dell 4K webcam that Jared, friend on the Voron team, sent me to try out. Just put that there. So, yep, double check the extruder and Z motors. So the Z motors I know these are 0.9 degrees and I had changed that in the config. So I have 400 set for the Z motors. Okay, so stepper X worked, let's go stepper Y. And we should see a similar movement. Yep, and that's the one moving. And it should be, if you remember what the last one looked like, this should be moving about half as far because I fixed that steps per millimeter value.
You know what I just noticed on your new camera?
Yeah?
Your fan actually has arrows pointing at where it rotates to.
The fan. Oh yeah.
Yeah, on the yeah.
Yep.
Never seen that before.
A lot of
Never
fans
noticed
have
it.
that. A lot of fans have that. They're talking about right there. Yeah.
Yep. I never noticed that.
Micro step 16 is fine. Holy shit. So we'll find out if it went in the right direction when we actually do a home. It's kind of hard to tell when you're doing the individual stepper buzz like this with X and Y. Okay, so now we're gonna stepper buzz and we're gonna rearrange the camera to, here we go, here. So, oop, I keep hitting keys on my keyboard. Okay, so now we're gonna stepper buzz Z. So this should be Z0, which is the front left stepper, and it should move down as the first move, because your first move with stepper buzz should be in the positive direction of whatever axis, and positive direction for Z on this and a trident is to move down. So I just kind of put my finger on here. I mean, you can see it, but it also helps to have that tactile response. And it is going the opposite direction of what we want. So the first move was up, which means we need to invert Z. So, okay. And then, so instead of going in and changing all those now, we're gonna just test all of them at once. So Z1 is the back stepper, and it also needs inverted. So I'm guessing that all of them are gonna need inverted. Hi Dave, thanks for becoming a member. Okay, and then the Z2, which is the front right stepper here, we're gonna do the same thing. And so all of them need inverted. So all of them are moving in the wrong direction. So now we can go back into our config and just invert all of them. And then while we're there, we'll double check our settings. So if we go through here, stepper Z, the direction pin is inverted now with the exclamation point. So we're just gonna remove that exclamation point. It is a 0.9 degree stepper. The rotation distance is 2. So these are single lead screws, which means there's a 2 millimeter pitch, which means it's a 2 millimeters lead movement per full rotation. So, and I don't think we got 0.9 degree steppers here. I'm gonna go to 16, I think, on the micro steps. 0.9 steppers, 2 millimeter lead screws. I think 16 is probably okay on the micro steps, and we'll keep the torque up. Since these are only 1 amp steppers, these are kind of anemic steppers, so. while we're here, what is the expected Z travel on this?
Depending on what couplers you use, I would say at least 250.
So 240 is probably reasonable. Leave in there.
Yeah.
And we'll see where we'll see if we can get more when we test. Okay, so Z, now Z1, we need to remove the exclamation point. And we're going to change this also to 16. And stepper Z2, remove the exclamation point and change that to 16. Okay, so we'll save and restart. I'm using a Winsin on here too, Bill. This fan that's on here is a Winsin. That may be a sin, but I'm using it. Okay, so we're going to check the stepper buzz. We'll just check it on the last one we did. And it should go down. Yep, so that first move was down. Hey, Andrew. So now, I think we're ready to home X. So we know that that our end stops work. So we're gonna manually move the tool head to about the middle and go ahead and home just X and see where it goes. Oh. So that goes the wrong way. So X goes to the left, X should go to the right, that's okay. Let's home Y and see what it does. And it does the same thing. And I just manually trigger the end stop to stop it from grinding. So Y is moving to the front of the printer, it should go to the back. X is moving to the left, it should go to the right. Let's use the Voron docs to sort that out. So if we go to docs.vorondesign, and we go to the build and initial startup. And let's give this to folks in chat. This is where we are. So now if we come down, and let's just use the Trident as the example. If we scroll down here, we're gonna get to these diagrams, these motor configuration guides. And all of them are basically the same, but we're gonna use Trident just because. So when we homed, X went to the right and Y went forward. So this upper right scenario is what applied. When we did X should have gone to the left, it went to the right. Y should have gone back, it went forward. So all we have to do is invert both steppers. So all we have to do is go back in here, go to machine, go to printer, and on X, we're going to invert the direction. So this doesn't have an exclamation point, so we're gonna put an exclamation point there. And on Y, we're gonna do the same thing. Put an exclamation point. And then save and restart. We'll move our tool head back to the center. And we're gonna home X and Y. So we're gonna home X, and there it goes. We're gonna home Y. Awesome. Easy as that. Just get your current, what is your current scenario? What direction is it moving when you home each thing individually? Then look at those tables and they'll tell you what to do. Sometimes you need to swap the connectors on the board. Sometimes you only need to invert one or the other. So that diagram there is super handy. I'm pretty sure Mateu is the one that originally created those. So, okay, now we need to figure out where, we need to figure out where the dock is. So let's figure out where our clicky dock is. So I'm gonna probably leave this view on the camera, and I'm gonna use the the controls in mainsail here to move the, oops, wrong one. Move the tool head around until we get back to where we want to go. So Y. So I'm gonna eyeball this. So X, I want to go probably about there. And then, so I think X is right at 8 millimeters, and that's probably sounding about right. And then we're gonna go back on Y. Oops, up on Y. There's that. Now we want to still go further up until it's actually docked. Oops, that's too many. Go. And then I think we're just about perfect right there. So if I look at, so I've been using these controls right here to move it, and we're at X8 and Y260. And this is based on where I set my end stop positions. Okay. Hey, Latian. So X8 and Y260. Now we can go into our machine and go to our clicky variables and set our position here. X. So variable dock location is 8. And I got the basic configuration here from Daniel at Modbot. So, okay, I think we should be able to save and restart that. Okay, and go back to our dashboard, and let's home X and Y. And now let's attach the probe. I'm gonna hit the attach probe button and see what happens. Whoa. Hey, it grabbed it. Look at that. Hey, Charlie. Where can I find the Y end stop case STL? It's in the files. Right, Dutch?
Yep,
are you talking about this piece here, Charlie? This piece that's on the side of the printer? It should be in the files.
Yeah, but to make it easy to find, if you go to the manual Mercury and then files, all the way on the top, it has a link to GitHub, so you can just download that one thing.
Let's go there. ZeroG docs. Let's go there. Cam is happy too. So if we go to the ZeroG documentation, so let me paste a link there. And if we go to, is it the manual?
Yep.
And Mercury One. And then we're going to go to files. And then we're going to agree to the license agreement. But at the top here, the top here should be, where's the link?
All the way in the top, the text is highlighted in green, in red. I think it's behind the text box, if I'm not mistaken.
And click on, alternatively, you can manually, okay, so here it says, alternatively, you can manually download the files you need by clicking a link for either Mercury One or EVA 2.4. So there's a Mercury One link here behind chat on this page. If you click that, it takes you directly to the GitHub page. And then what is the file name? Do you know?
Should have the word and stuff in it, but it doesn't. Good. Actually, that's moved into the EVA setup.
It's in the EVA setup?
Yeah, it's on the bottom. It's called Y_ and stuff. I should probably move that. Okay.
If you click on EVA 2.4, it sounds like we're giving suggestions here.
Yep.
And then you say there's a, is it down at the bottom? endstop STL. So here's that file there. So if that helps, Charlie, I hope. The autofocus makes me feel drunk. I need to figure something out with my autofocus. because that's been a reoccurring frustration. Okay, anyway, it's attaching, so we should be able to dock the probe now. Oh, and it needs to move further to get away from there because it's not moving quite enough. So let's go to the clicky variables, and I think our dock move in X, let's move this to like 30, I think, here in the clicky variables, and let's save and restart and try that again. So if we come back here, maybe we can get a good view here. Oh, sorry. I got cables everywhere and mats everywhere. Let's try this. We're gonna home X. How do I resolve percent set extrude is not valid in section G code macros pause? I have no idea, Skyrim. Hopefully someone else in chat has a better idea. Okay, and then we can go and attach probe. I don't know why it's doing 2 Z moves to do that, but that's okay. And then we should be able to dock probe. Now it moves further out of the way. There we go. Awesome. I think we can home all. Let's go for this view here. We're gonna home all. Hey, Kyle. Oh, endstop Z still triggered after retract. Why? Oh, because I don't have something set up.
It didn't pick up the clicky, so your step.
Something is missing in my config. Why is it not homing Z? I always wanted to ask you why you're not using sensorless, because the default configuration for this is with endstops. Okay, where am I going? Why did this not home? Clicky probe. I've got the variables, macros, and Z tilt. I haven't enabled the bed mesh, although we could. There's no reason not to. Save and close. Clicky variables. Is there anything here? Set to true if your clicky dock, it's not servo controlled. Should we untangle the umbilical? That's funny. Hey, Clee. That is a very huge exaggeration, Clee. I like sensorless homing, and actually this is a good application of sensorless homing. I would use it on this printer, but the default config is endstops.
I use it on mine.
Yeah. Yeah, and I may end up going there just to clean up the wiring and stuff on this at one point. Why is this not grabbing? It's got to be in my printer config. And let's do this. Daniel Modbot sent me. Oh shoot! And I completely forgot. Sean had something in Discord chat. Sean, I'm sorry, and you're actually out getting lunch. We said I had asked if you really blasted your wife's son after stream yesterday. Yes, we did. It blasted, apparently got filtered. But yes, we all got shot with the Nerf blaster yesterday. Anyway, Daniel had sent me his example config. So let me just grab that real quick. And make sure the Z homing stuff is correct. Where am I at? Okay, I got too many windows. How accurate is sensorless homing compared to mechanical end stop switches? Accurate enough. Is there a homing override macro somewhere? If not, Klipper doesn't know how to grab it. Yeah, there's a, and what I was grabbing is Daniel at ModBot's printer config, just because I can, what? Let's just grab Notepad. That's fine. What am I showing on screen now? Okay, so this is Daniel's config, but let's just go down here to the homing override. Start print, prime line. Where's the homing override? Red mesh, Z tilt, probe. I don't see the homing override anywhere. Huh. Okay, it's not in there. Let's look at what I have. And maybe in Klipper macros. What do I have for homing override? I think it's up here, homing override. I think this is all wrong. In the Klipper, in the clicky macros, does this just need to be commented out and have nothing in here? Save and restart. Let's see. Dashboard, home all. There we go. Yep, I just needed to get rid of my copied homing override. I just needed to get rid of my copied homing override. Oh, and usually I will manually trigger this, but let's hope it does okay. There we go. Awesome. Nice. Now we should be able to Z tilt. It's having to retry. Oh, it's just retrying. That's not good. Well, it got a good set. Oh, shoot. I'm gonna cancel this because it tried to do it off the back of the bed, so I have a bad value for my rear point there. So let me change this. I did an e-stop. Yep. Hey Scott, welcome. Okay, so let's firmware restart. I had a bad rear center point for my Z tilt function, so it tried to probe off the bed. So we're gonna move this forward about 20 millimeters. So we're just gonna go in here, go to printer config, and go down to my Z tilt options. Where's our Z tilt? There it is. So our points, our Y point here, I'm gonna set this one to 230. Just move it forward about 20 millimeters. And save and restart. And then we'll do this again. Home all. Hey, Apollo. It already had the dock on there, so. Just gonna put the clicky probe away. Now we can Z-tilt. Gonna do this. And it's doing some extra retries here. I'm not quite sure why. Can't even hear this thing home. So the noise cancellation on my microphone is probably taking care of that, Pex Peppers. There's a little bit of noise, but it's not bad. There we go, we got the rear one. I'm not using, but I think it's, here, let me turn off noise cancellation. Which one? Oh, there it is. There, so noise cancellation is off. So it's... It is very quiet. I'll give you that, but can you hear it a little more now at least? It's doing quite a few retries on this. I don't know if it's a switch I grabbed or what. Nope, it failed for retries. I don't know why. I didn't check probe accuracy. Let's do that. And let me turn the filter back on, because otherwise I'll forget. Maybe clicky magnets aren't connecting flat. It's possible. Well, that's home all. Whoa, I don't like that. Well, that's a problem. It didn't move down in Z before homing. I need to set a homing override. Okay, here, let's home all. I used to get several retries with click until I switched to genuine Omron switch. This is a genuine Omron switch. But we're gonna do a probe accuracy check and see what we end up getting. So now that it's, oops. So we're gonna go in here, we're gonna attach the probe. And then we're gonna move to the center of the bed. G0X, what is it? 137.5. Y 132.5. There we go. And then probe accuracy. Now it's going to do that. Clicky must turn off autocorrect. Oh. On my 2.4, I get several retry on the textured side of the build plate. I don't usually get much for retries. 0.002? That's not great, right? That's really annoying.
It's not that bad either.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Moving on. We will readdress that if we need to. I can try a different probe too. I have another probe, the green one. We lost you over here. There you are. Check the Z-tilt points too. I think my Z-tilt points are pretty accurate. So I'm getting it's not in the Z-tilt function. It's in the individual multiple probe function that I'm getting the retries. So, okay.
Is it the tolerance maybe?
2 microns is fine. We're getting like 0.4 microns out of some other solutions. So, back to the config checks. So we're homing, we're Z-tilting. We need to figure out why we're getting retries, but let's keep moving on getting stuff set up and ready to print here. So the next thing is we need to set up the extruder. Now, I have a hard time finding the documentation. Does anybody in chat have the actual Klipper settings for a LGX light? Did I correctly see that you have your rear stepper Z position Y at 263? With a 255 bed, it seems incorrect. It's a 275 bed. The coordinates are for the nozzle. Just to make sure it's not the bed jumping because of the mounts or something. The bed is pretty solid. I think the probe was already built right. I built a new one. This is a new one, Kyle. Does anybody have the actual Klipper settings for the LGX light? Because if you go here to LGX's website, they don't understand Klipper settings for their own extruders, which is kind of frustrating. Because if you look here, rotation distance, they have at 5.7. There is no chance that the circumference of the LGX gears is 5.7 millimeters. Scott, you got it in my DM? Okay, let me check. Thanks, Scott. What do you have set here? Rotation distance. So this will work, and we'll probably go with this, but this isn't correct. This is one of my little pet peeves about rotation distance and Klipper, because I love the setup. I love the way that Kevin has set up Klipper for this stuff, and I don't think even like Bondtech or even E3D really understands how it should be. You should be specifying your gear ratios of your extruder, and your rotation distance should be the circumference of the device or whatever that that pushes the filament. There is no chance that the circumference of this gear in here is 5.7 millimeters. I think if you understand how this should work, I'm hoping my rant makes sense. You should be specifying your gear ratio, and then everything else falls into place. Once you do that, then you can change your micro steps and have it know exactly what it's going to do. They are integrating the gear ratio. So what is the gear ratio on an LGX light? So it may work. So don't get me wrong. What they're recommending is going to work, but it's not correct. Do you know, Linus, do you know what the gear, okay, 40 to 10, 30, 17, there we go. Thank you, Linus. You are on the same page as me. This is where we should be. So if we go here and we go to our machine and our printer config, this is where we should be. This is how it should be set up. So gear ratio here should be, here, and I copied the whole thing, so I'm going to paste the whole thing. Should be specified like this, and then your rotation distance is, and this is still for the BMG gears. Looks like something we can start at 53.35, and we'll tweak that. That's what you tweak. Oops. 53.35. Rant makes sense. However, every time I try and set the gear ratio on my LGX light, it's a disaster. The issue is that it changed with the lever, right? No, the lever, the tension may change things, but that's where your tension, that's where you start fine tuning this with your extrusion multiplier. I've seen a lot of people's personal configs where they bake. The problem I have with that, Ballistic Tech, is it confuses things, because then I like to see these numbers be actual real world. I could open this up and I could count 44 and 10 teeth, and I could count 37 and 17 teeth, and I could stick a string around that, or I could measure diameter of the drive gear and calculate the circumference, and everything is actual numbers that make sense. So yeah, so thank you. I very much appreciate. Thanks, Linus, for getting those numbers in there for me. And anybody else, I see Nathan posted it, and Thunder Keys, and those folks. Okay, we got a Charlie back in here. Yeah, if you go in and count a BMG, it's 50 and 10 for like the CW2 or whatever. Yeah, I like those to be correct. Now the stepper on an LGX light, that's a 1.8 degree, right?
It should be, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if we save and restart this, now we can start getting into doing a PID tune, make sure our fans work, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to move this back here, and we'll get this camera because it's kind of... Get this camera up here, and we'll start looking at fans. And we're going to get a visit, I think. The one thing about this little tripod is it is... Let's just go with that. So if I set our extruder temperature just really low, just 50, our front fan should turn on. And it did not, which means, and our rear fan did not turn on. So fans have not turned on. I'm gonna turn that off. So let's look at our config and see why our fans aren't turning on. Machine. Let's do something else here first. Let's go to the dashboard, and our fans down here, our hot end fan should be at 100%. It thinks it's on, but it's not. Why is it not? So let's go to machine and go to our printer config, and we're gonna open up just from HEX. I think it's the same as LGX. Okay. Let's go down here to our fan configurations. Fan. So hot end fan. Okay, so here's the problem. I've got this set at PA1, which is the main MCU. It's actually plugged into the EBB36. So we need to figure out what the pinout on that is. So EBB36, that's the end stop. So let's go here to BTT EBB36 GitHub. Go to the CAN, hi Charlie, and EBB36 CAN and hardware and the pinout. And our fan is still PA1, but we need to define it properly. We don't have it defined properly here. So I need to go, where's the EBB36 colon, and then for our regular fan, we need to do the same thing, EBB36 colon, and that should fix that. Save and restart. Thanks for the info on the LGX slide. I think I'll be updating my config tomorrow. Perfect. Well, let's make sure everything works here. So I've got those backwards now. So because the right now it thinks that the hot end fan is on. So I have the definition on those backwards. The part cooling fan turned on instead. So let's go back in here and go down and switch those. So this should be PA1. This should be PA0. And save and restart. Do you use aliases or manipulate the pin names directly? No. I just use the pin names as they come from the board manufacturers. Okay. So now we should be able to go back here, and if we look at this, if I set this to 50, the part, there we go. Now the hot end fan just turned on. And then if I go and turn on the part cooling fan, it's on. And it's blowing a lot of air. Holy moly. Okay. Charlie. Here's Charlie. We are almost there. Let's do a PID tune, right? Is that next? What do you do next?
Now the question.
Huh?
I do a PID tune, but the question is, do you PID tune with the fan on or with the fan off?
I usually do it with it off. I don't know if
Right.
that's correct. Having it on makes sense to me, but I usually do it with it off.
Yeah, I do them with the fan on at like 40%. I'm not sure if it makes a huge
bit?
difference. Probably
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
I am going to, so Kyle says he does it with the fans at 25%. Okay. So I always go, because I never remember, so I never remember all these commands. So I'm just going to go here to the Klipper docs and copy the command. And we're going to do this, and I'm going to do this at 210, because that's my average PLA print temperature. I also do it at 50. Should we, well, Dutch does it with the fan on at 40. Everyone's doing it at 50. Let's turn the fan on. Let's just do the fan on at 50. Fan's on, and we'll do it. So now we should see the temperature here start to increase. Let's make sure we are getting, yep, it's warming up. And do it around 5 millimeters from the bed. Do you want to make the electronics bay Charlie safe? That's probably a good idea, Tina. That's probably a good idea. It is on. Whew. There we go. Now it's Charlie safe. What do we got? Oh, we've got an hour and 15 minutes till Filament giveaway. So you create approximately the same conditions that happens during printing. I've been printing for 3 years without running a PID with the fan on. Maybe that's causing a problem, but I haven't noticed any problems. Sorry if it was already asked, is there any downside to a Soval SVO5 compared to the Ender 5 as a base? I can't get a really good deal. I can get a really good deal on the SVO5 right now. I don't know, are you aware of the differences there, Dutch?
I don't think the differences are huge. There's a guy in our server that did a build on the Soval SVO5. But you might just want to get the frame pieces separately if you're gonna buy a whole printer for it.
Okay.
Because that's makes it a bit more expensive than it should be.
Oh, okay. So if you're going to use an SVO5 for a base, you might as well just buy some extrusions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope there aren't too many welts after yesterday. I just got hit once from about 25 feet away, and it stung, but I don't think it left a welt. Hi, McFarrate. So it is running its thing. I'd be curious. I don't think I can get a... Yeah, I can't really get a reading on that. Hey, Brian. Charlie's relaxing while we're waiting for a PID tune.
I got my own Charlie.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
You'll only hang out for 2 seconds and leave.
Yeah. My wife was not impressed when I said I'm building a Nerf blaster and how much I spent on the hardware and darts and magazines. Oops. I'm curious how many orders out of darts might have received yesterday. Hey, what's your day job, Dutch?
I actually work in retail.
You work in retail, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not something I'm gonna be doing all my life. It's something for now.
Watch it, watch it, watch it. We're about to get it. Are you gonna do it, Charlie? Are you gonna do it? I'll give you some room. There you go. A little bit of extra room. Are we gonna get a Charlie leap?
He's thinking about it.
He is. He is. I'm a little. No, it's unstable. There's too much stuff there. We tried. Here you go, Charlie. I'll take you over there. Were you watching when he left last week? There's quite a bit of crap here on my bench that was making it precarious, and Charlie is a smart cat. He doesn't want to hurt himself. Anyway, I'm sorry. You said retail?
Yeah, I work in retail, and it's not something I want to do all my life, but it's good for now. It pays the rent and everything, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All the monitors, yes. Where's he going now? Oh, he's doing his business. Yeah, he didn't have a stable launch point, so he aborted. Okay, is this done? Oh, yep, it's done. Okay, so we're done here, so we can just click the Save Config button on top. And now we're gonna heat up the bed and see if it heats up. Let's just start a PID tune for the bed. Oops. PID heater bed. Let's just do 60. That'll be fine. Let's see if it warms up. Yep, it's warming up. Just clock the RC car above you. Oh, they're all electric. They're all electric, Kyle. Hey, George. Yeah, it's heating up. It's heating up nicely. Okay, so we just gotta kind of wait. What else do we got going on? He's an old boy now and starting to know his limitations. Yep. Marcel's asking if you're from Rotterdam?
No, I'm not. I'm actually from a city north of the country.
Oh, okay.
Rotterdam is more of a central city. Bigger city. Too busy for me.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. We gotta get filament in place here in a minute. Once the bed PID tune is done, we'll do some extrusion tests, and then I think we're ready to start a print, right? What do we want to print? What's our first print on this?
Are we doing a ZeroG print or?
Well, we should.
Well, we have an astronaut and we have a calibration rectangle, I guess.
How long does the astronaut take?
You don't need to do infills, only parameters, so...
Oh, so it could be fairly quick?
Yeah, depending on your settings. Should be optimized for FDM.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's on printables. If you look up ZeroG astronaut, you'll find it.
Okay. What color do we want to do it in? Any suggestions? PLAs, I have quite a few colors. What does chat say? What color? We got yellow and blue. White, not white. Bright green, blue, silver, orange, blue. I'm seeing lots of blues. Always yellow. Blue, yellow, orange for sure. Sky blue, blue, blue. Same blue as the Merc. Well, I don't have the same blue as the Merc in a PLA. Ooh, we could do a co-extrusion blue. Here, let's do this. What do we think? This is the Quantum, Matter Hackers Quantum green and blue. This won't show artifacts easily. But it'll look cool. We got there and there.
That's magic.
Yeah. Okay, this is still doing its PID tune. Let's do that one. While this is doing that, we can work on spool holder. We got a spool holder. And I need some PTFE tube. Let's see, what do we have here? So this spool holder has some spots here for PTFE tubing to go through. The print didn't turn out great, but it'll be fine. There we go. White, while green is just blue and yellow anyways. There we go. You want to see artifacts? Gray is the color, yes. There's one of them in there. I think that'll do.
That's a good question, actually.
John, thanks for the gift of memberships. Did you buzz the extruder yet? Nope. We're gonna do all those extruder calibrations here in a moment. Okay, so little PTFE tubes here, and then there's a cap that goes on here after I drop an extruder on the floor, but it hit my foot, so it's okay. What's a good question?
Well, it's not. Well, about the buzzing of the extruder, but you're doing that in a minute, so.
Yeah. So there's a cap here. I need to put a heat set in here. Shaper calibrate. We do need to do that. I need to get the config for the EBB36. What did I use? Oh, I can grab that from the Micron config. Heat set. I need a heat set. Heat set over here. What else do we got? With that logic, why does all the colors combined? I'm not really too concerned about, I mean, we're trying to get this working. A good longer test print will come, but I wanted more of a cool test print, I think. And Waza, thanks for becoming a member. Oh, you can't see anything I'm doing. All I'm doing is putting the cap on this. Just a little button head to hold the PTFE tube in. We should do a meetup in the Netherlands for those in the area and have a drink and chat. How many people are in the Netherlands area? Or within reasonable travel distance?
Well, in total, 18 million, but...
How many here?
I mean, the country is quite small.
How many here are in the Netherlands? How far are you from Mr. Proper Printing?
Not that far actually. I could drive to him in about an hour.
Yeah.
I actually sat with him at the airport in Chicago trying to go home because we had a huge delay.
George, that's an RC10B4 that I've had for years and years and years. Okay, is that done yet? Nope, it's still doing the bed tune. It's warm. Nothing is far in the Netherlands. You can cross it in 3 hours.
Yep, north to south, all the way.
Yeah. With some notice, I can find a flight. Are you gonna go to Smurf?
I'm trying to get there, yeah.
Yeah.
I need to save up a little bit for the trip, but I bought the tickets for it already from the event itself.
Oh, I need to do that. I need to do that. I need to get my passport, and I hear that's a challenge right now. I don't have a passport right now, so. But I finally got a copy of my birth certificate just the other day, so I'm making progress. $180 miles by 250 miles is the whole country.
Yep. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Okay.
And we have licorice and stove baffles.
Yes. This is slow. John, thanks for becoming a member. Oh, thanks for being a member. Welcome, the new members. Yes. 3 months minimum right now to get a passport. I'm good. If it's only 3 months, then I'm good. It's delayed. Yeah. I'll pay for any expediting they have, just to make sure I don't run into any problems. But, oh, that's done. It's done. Let's save the config. Was your original written on parchment paper? My original is right here. It's kind of fancy. I'm not going to show the whole thing here, but it's kind of fancy paper.
Oh, that's
from
the birth
the
certificate?
Southern Nevada Health District. Yeah, my birth certificate.
There you go.
It's right here. Gotta cross the border and get a Mexican passport. Okay, so bid PID tune is done. So let's go through and it's so hard to get good camera angles. Maybe we can do this and zoom in on the extruder, and then we're gonna do a stepper buzz on this guy. So let me get a stepper buzz. Oops. So what is going to be, I'm gonna view this, and so this side gear here should rotate clockwise for a positive direction. Yep, it did, and it's moving. You might be able to see that. I have my birth certificate at my computer desk. That's my garage/office. Yes. Sean's back. Welcome back, Sean. Where's Charlie, by the way? Did he go? Was Charlie in here? Yep. Yeah, bring him back in here. He doesn't get a choice. He has to be in here.
People want Charlie.
I grew up in Las Vegas from 5th grade until I joined the US Navy in 1997. Oh, awesome. I was born in Las Vegas, and my dad was in the Air Force. But I was only there for, I think, a year or two, till I was 2, I think. Then we moved to Ogden, Utah, to Hill Air Force Base area. That's where my brother was born. So, okay, so this moved in the proper direction. So let's heat it up and do a do an extrusion test. So I'm heating it up. I have a fry stretched out on my lap. Okay, he might settle on his pillow now. He's getting up there all on his own. Okay, let's go here and here. And let's put the spool holder on. So this just goes right here. Something like that.
Yep.
So I need a couple of T-nuts. A couple of M8 screws and 3x8 screws. So we'll do that. And oops. Oh, double. Wow, William, thanks for gifted memberships. Speaking of extruders, when are we going to see Galileo 2? I'm very curious. I can show you Galileo 2. That's the one I dropped, actually. So the extruder I dropped a moment ago on my foot was Galileo 2. There it is. The head cam, everyone has a safety helmet. Thanks again, William. That's a lot of memberships. After your previous video, when I was asking about the BTT Pies, I got 2, and honestly can't say bad word about them. Configured Klipper on both, and they were running printers since then. Yeah, even the CB1 I've been happy with, since they fixed the other issues. Okay.
I'm running one of those on my V0. Just make sure to put a fan on it, though, because they do run quite hot.
The coupler for this side is the one that came on the extruder for the Ender 5, right? Now, does this go on this side?
The other side.
On that side like that?
I would put it on the other side.
The other side? Okay. And then just run the filament through. Okay, that'll make it easier. Then I don't have to run the entirety of the thing through, of the Bowden tube through there, right?
No, just a little bit. Spool will
yeah,
unwind.
Yeah, there we go. And then a couple of M3x8s that I think are somewhere, maybe over here. Maybe I'll just grab them from here. And Sean's back, so let's make sure we get that going. So the where are we at? That's right. We're in danger of losing our streak. That's okay if we do, but I wonder if we can keep it going. We're on a streak of hitting 300 likes by filament giveaway time, and we've been getting that for the past many streams. Wonder how close we can get this time. Can you tell is the Galileo 2 based on the Orbiter 2 internals? It is not. It is not. Okay, so spool holder's on. I've got a piece of PTFE tube that we're not actually going to put in because we're going to do some extrusion multiplier testing. So this is just going to sit here though.
Are you doing that by extruding a bunch and then measuring it?
Yep.
I do have a small calculator for that on the documentation site.
Oh, nice. We'll use it. Yep, we're coming up on 200 likes. Considering we only had that many last time option, and we still made it. Because people come and go. The 250, those numbers are very average. So don't be discouraged just because we don't have 300 people in here right now. Doesn't mean we can't get to 300 likes, because people have come and gone, and people that aren't here right now have liked earlier. Yeah, we can do it. I have faith. Okay, we're gonna go in here and there. I'm gonna grab a bit of filament here. And how does this work? I think we're gonna do that, and we're gonna extrude. Everyone load the stream on 2 devices and like. Okay, so we're gonna extrude some here. Yep, and it's extruding. I did my part, I liked it. Perfect. I just ordered parts for my 5+ rebuild last week, decided to get started on it. Nice. We're just gonna extrude until it comes out the nozzle. This first plastic extruded, and it's there. Okay. Now I've got the temperature set. I'm gonna set the temperature a little higher. Let's go 225. So we want to minimize the resistance here. We're gonna extrude a little hot and slow for our thing. Now you can do multiple likes, but make sure it's an odd number. Odd number of likes and you're good. we're all the 210, right? So, okay, I'm gonna get a little marker, something that'll show up on here. I got a black one in here somewhere. There we are. Did like, but I don't enter. That's fine. The likes are good for that. Mr. Algorithm, or the algorithm. Okay, so I'm gonna take my little scale here and I'm gonna measure up 120 millimeters. So we're gonna make this easy. That way we can do 2 tests out of one thing. So we're gonna go, the mark is at 120 millimeters. So flush against the top of the connector down here. And I need to, and then I look at this mark and I get a gauge for where it actually is at that 120 millimeter point. So it's actually right just a hair above 120. So there's that, and make sure we have enough slack filament here, and it's actually working on falling off of the spool, but William forgot to say hello for 3 months. Hey William. Modbot, welcome. Modbot's here. Let's everyone say hi, Modbot. We've broken the 200 mark. We're at 215. We're only 85 away. Modbot, did you like? We need every like we can get to get up to 300. A piece of tape is more accurate. Yep. But we'll be okay. So now we're gonna extrude 50 millimeters. Right, so we're gonna extrude 50 millimeters and measure back and go from there. But I'm just gonna do this here. We're gonna extrude 50, but we're only gonna do it at 2 millimeters per second, or even 1 millimeter per second. And this did not take, why? There we go. Let's just say 50. time to say here as well, smash that like button. Thanks, Marcel. And Pathetic Puma, thank you for the gifted memberships. And Colin, thanks for the gifted memberships. Okay, so now I'm going to extrude 50 millimeters. So we should get, I don't know if I can get this camera in here in any reasonable point. What can I set it on? I need little stands in here or some sort of extension, because oh, that's still not tall enough. Oh well, maybe this will be. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna extrude. Extrude. 1 millimeter per second. Make sure we don't have any drag on it. Head cam. Why not change your max extrude length to 120 millimeter in the config? It's 100 right now, but all we're doing is getting a, how far did it extrude? And I set it to 120 so I can do 2 of these 50 millimeter tests in one go. Seems like a ceiling mounted adjustable arm for the camera would be better. Maybe. My whole setup is gonna change though. 69 likes needed. Nice. You staying awake there, Dutch?
Oh yeah, it's only 9.
I appreciate you being here. I know a little bit of this is slow, it's still a build, but I think everybody appreciates the insight. And if there are any other questions, folks, in chat for Dutch, bring them on. Yeah, lots of gifted memberships today and lots of new members. So be sure to check out the foam dart blaster content we did yesterday on the Charlie's Angels stream. Is that an LGX Lite or standard? It's an LGX Lite. It's an LGX Lite. Okay, did that finish? Yep, it finished. So now we're gonna measure to the mark. So we extruded 50 millimeters. I'm gonna find our mark here. And we are at, I would say we extruded 50.3. Just looking at the thing. I think we extruded 50.3. So where's your calculator?
It's under the menu in documentation, Klipper, and then Klipper calculator.
Let's go to, so this is docs. Here, let's go back to the main page, and just so everybody has it. Why the washer between bearings? Just to give them a little bit of extra space. And that's a question for you there, Dutch. So you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, the main reason is because we use a Creality Ender 5 or 5 Plus as a base for the build. And those frames are off that much that the belts would actually damage on the printed on the flange bearings. The washer in between just gives us a millimeter more play on the belts, hopefully helping preventing those belt grindings from happening.
Okay. Where I'm at your docs here. Where do I go to get to the calculator?
Klipper and the menu. It's in left.
Klipper. Okay.
Yeah.
And Klipper calculator.
And then all the way on the bottom.
All the way on the bottom. So I know that there is a formula here, but Joe, what I wanted to do is kind of go through this. And is this a manual calibrating rotation distance? So measure initial mark distance, new distance in millimeters. So what do I put in here?
Yeah, so this is basically made for 100 millimeters of filaments, so that's different than the 50 you did.
Oh, okay. So I should be able to go 70. And new distance was, or what? What can I do here to work that?
The distance is what distance is left.
What distance is left? Initial distance is 120. Distance left was 70.3. No, it would be 69.7 if I did that, right?
Yeah, that's
And
based
then
on the 50 mils though.
The rotation distance that we have in the config was 53.35, is that right? Where's the printer config? Printer config. What did we set that to? 53.35. So if we go here, and we should be able to calculate that. Nope, I did it wrong.
No, that's because it's based on 100 millimeter of extruding. You did 50. So it's gonna give you the wrong value for that.
Is it basically double? Is it so? It should just be double.
It should just be double. My cat is being a little bit annoying, so let me.
I broke it. I didn't follow your instructions.
Yeah, don't worry. It should I guess it should be double.
Should be 53.67 is what our new value here is. Okay. So save and restart. You'll need to double my number, yep.
I'll probably put on another text box in there so people can put in their own values.
So now I'm gonna go back to 225 on this.
Dave really likes cats, huh?
Yes. We need all the cats. That might be a new requirement for my guests. You gotta bring your pets on. So now if I look at the distance here, my mark is at, so my mark is right dead on the 70 right now. So if I extrude another 50, it should be dead on the 20 and then would be good. We want to see Max holding Cheddar. He might need some help. Cheddar's a big boy. Okay, so this is up to speed. We're gonna do another, oops, I was moving that around. And that's gonna wanna focus there. Maybe I can just move this forward. My focus issues are annoying. But, extrude. So it is extruding.
My cat really likes this shiny little bearing for some reason. So I'm trying to keep him away from that.
If I could show you my dogs, I absolutely would. I saw pictures of your dogs, Dave. Okay, so it is extruding one more time. Autofocus always, yeah, and it's all my fault for not going through my camera settings. Maybe I can I fake it? No. I'm changing up my whole setup though. We're gonna give it a try from the other garage and see what happens. Oh, that's done. Okay, so should be able to take a measurement now. Wherever I set my ruler, we should be at, we are dead on 20. So we are at the same spot. So that is close enough. If we wanted to, we would do this a few cycles and get a little narrow in on a more accurate number. But for what we're doing here, this will be fine. So let's go ahead and retract and get this filament out of here so we can put our Bowden tube on. It's because of the blue part on the right. Yeah, I know. Okay, so let's just leave that right there. And let's get our, there. It would need to be out of frame. I can't just hide it behind Dutch. That doesn't work. What we need is a workshop tour. One day when it's clean enough that I'll not feel embarrassed to do so. What are we pretty much ready? Oh, we can do an input shaper tune, right? We need to do an input shaper tune.
Yeah, that on Z offset, you should be good.
Oh, Z offset. that is true. We need to do a Z offset calibration.
Ruined that fresh PI by myself, so.
When is it clean enough so never? If you're dead on 20, aren't you off by a little in the first extrusion? No, because I measured again, because I was off a little on the first, it went to dead on 70, and then the next one was dead on 20. So it was at like 120.3, or it was the other way, 119.7, whatever. And then it went to, the mark was dead on the 70 millimeter mark, and then I did another 50 and it was dead on 20. So, let's put the PTFE tube on and then do a Z offset, a input shaper calibration, and then a print. So this, any other questions for Dutch? Pressure advance. Well, that's filament tuning. That's a bit, getting into a full filament tune is a bit much for a build stream. That's a whole other topic. Let's crash the toolhead on the bed. We don't need to crash the toolhead. Okay, so I have a PTFE tube here. We are going to go in the LGX light. That can pull up there, and then that comes down to the back. Here we go, maybe that's better. Behind the belts, and we need some zip ties. What else do we got? How long, when did you start developing Mercury One? How long was it before you had your own working printer?
Well, if you're looking at ZeroG, it basically started before it was ZeroG, because that's an idea we came up with later.
Okay.
So that's gonna be, I can check that out. Give me 1 second, because it's been a while. At least at this time, it's gonna be more than 2 years ago. Which was the original Mercury One, which I really loved the afterburner, so I really wanted that on there.
Oops, shoot.
Designing that was fun because that basically was Fusion, and my first experience with Fusion or making CAD. Not knowing about alignment tools and joining up pieces, so I just dragged everything into place, so it looked visually like it matched the faces. Yep. I didn't know about it, and I had to learn the hard way. And then the Mercury One, well, it's over a year ago because it was in a beta, which was the Mercury 1.1 was over a year ago because the beta was way too long. But we learned from that. So right now where it's at, it's the Mercury 1.1 is basically a finished project apart from the documentation. So I'd say it took about the 1.1 version about 1 year and a few months, but that was also because we had our slow moments at that time because we're a two-person team, of course, full-time jobs.
And this isn't a job, so nope. Much of this is just as the flow of motivation and available time happens.
Yep. That's why the docs has not been finished yet.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. I did adjust that now, so I did use web pages, or I used to make documentation on the website. I'm moving now to a PDF style format that is inspired by Warren. I talked to a few of the guys at Rocky Mountain Roughest, and makes it easier to work together. You don't need to know programming, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So PTFE tube is in place. Let's do a Z offset calibration. We probably want to do this at bed temperature. I like to do my offset calibrations at bed temp. Question for Dutch, will there be an option in the future to reuse the stock Creality Ender 5 Plus hot end on the tool head? Would be a shame to throw away a working hot end. Are there any options for using the Creality hot ends?
So that's the pro about us using the EVA 2.4 system. You can just download a mod from Thingiverse or Principles that allows that and just screw it in. And
there is one for that?
There is many.
So you can use the Creality hot end in it as it is.
Yep.
Is there a recommendation of resources to get better at CAD? What have you used to learn CAD?
Mistakes.
Yeah.
So I would just say get started, because that's one of the issues. People look away to make a cube and they're like, oh, this is it, and then they do something else. So start a little project for yourself, something you want to finish, you have visually in your head, and then find on YouTube what you think you need. So if you have a part that needs a hole, find on YouTube how you make a hole in Fusion, for example. There's also many tutorials out there for Fusion, Onshape, SolidWorks, whatever you use.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fusion has a lot of tutorials on there you can learn from. Although I would say making a small project and having it visual in your head, trying to make it look like that will help you immensely, because it motivates you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Discord.
And Discord.
Yeah, if you don't know something, you could. There's many 3D printer channels around in Discord that will gladly answer your question on how to do it.
Awesome. We're at about 30 minutes from the Polymaker Filament giveaway, and only 58 likes away. We are almost at temperature. Almost at temperature. I've been teaching myself SolidWorks, and I use a Discord server when I need help. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting close to movement systems like 3D printer. Awesome. Using ChatGPT also helps with CAD topic. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna home all, huh?
No, I actually use ChatGPT too for the docs as well.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so that's gonna go there. And then we should be able to, if we go over here to the Klipper docs, our probe, what do we got? Probe calibration. Thanks, PF Dennis, for being a member for 12 months. ChatGPT wrote my letter of resignation. That's awesome. So we're just gonna run, what do we got here? Probe calibrate. Since we are using Z endstop as probe, or probe as Z endstop, I'm gonna go back over here and probe calibrate. Error, evaluating G-code probe calibrate. Must perform probe calibrate with the probe above the bed. Check clicky variables bed size. Okay, so it's not actually grabbing it. So we can attach the probe, and then we'll move it back to the center of the bed. Oh, and the last move I made was 1 millimeter per second. So that's what's still in the, since I didn't specify a speed, since the last movement I made was from the extruder at 1 millimeter per second, we're gonna wait for it to get there. And then, I don't know what's gonna be better. We can do this. We'll switch back and forth on the cameras. I think that's good. Now we can run probe calibrate. Probe open already attached. Okay. So now it's going to do its thing. Oh, did I run probe accuracy? No, what's it doing? Oh, there we are. Holy moly, it's got the 1 millimeter per second movement going. This isn't going correctly. This seems wrong. It's been a long time since I've done this, but we need the probe to be gone, right?
Yeah, you actually have to take that off yourself.
I've never had to do that before. I don't remember having to do that, but we're gonna get this going. So now we can go and use this little interface here and go down. I don't remember having to do that. I don't think I have my clicky macros set up well. I'll have to go through and play with that before I release this config. Oh, what the hell just happened? Move out of range. Ah, okay. So we need to go for the in the machine, and let's turn off, hide the backup files. We've got a printer config, and Z position min should be lower than this, right? Let's just do a high position min for now. And save and restart. And keep the bed hot. We are back here and home all. Put our probe back into place. Yeah, I don't remember having to do all this manual stuff when I did this before. Now we're going to attach the probe and move it to the center of the bed. And then probe calibrate. When do you plan to release your PDF build instructions? Did you see that one?
I do now. Probably before they're fully done. So there's some instruction out there. There is a little base I want to have in there, the base CoreXY system, and then I'll probably push it out there, improve it over time, and re-upload it as time goes by.
So I'm moving the bed up. There we go. That's better. I'm going to get a piece of paper as we get close. Set this guy on here, and I'm just going through this interface here. Okay, let's go and point. Oh, and I've gotten, it's too, this is a bug. At least I think it's a bug in mainsail. I can go, oh, that did actually work. What the hell? It's hopping, but it's not actually, oh, there it goes. It is getting closer. Never mind. Never mind. Nobody's chatting.
Chat is moving slow today. Or, well, right now.
There we go. Okay. So basically a piece of paper, oops, piece of paper here squeezes under just fine at that point. We're all engrossed? You shouldn't be, because I'm kind of stumbling here. So anyway, this is where it is. We're gonna accept this and then save config. Chat is at 1 millimeter per second. Let's move this down a little bit. Okay, so our Z offset is set now. Put the clicky probe back in its spot. West Coast lunchtime. Well, it's good to have lunchtime now, because in 25 minutes and 47 likes, we're gonna do a Polymaker Filament giveaway. Okay, Z offset is set. The next thing is we need to do a, here, let's just home all. Do a input shaper calibration, right? Why do you have to remove the probe manually? What's that? I was gonna use the EBB 36.
All right.
Yeah. There we go. It's homed. Where is the EBB 36 config? Do they publish that? Do they publish that out here for the input shaper?
Should have that. Where's it? Do you have the 1.1 version?
Yeah. I'm looking for, no, not hardware. I want the configuration.
Oh, it's in there.
Where do they put that stuff? 1.1, EBB, oh, firmware. Sample config. Sample, what is this? 1.2, 1.1. What is 1.2? Oh, there's the ADXL stuff. Okay, so this is where I got this stuff. There we go. And we want to grab the ADXL parts here. So grab that and put it in our printer config. And we'll just throw this up here. I don't need this. This is from my other example config I was using here. And then we need to change this to EBB 36, because that's what I named the MCU there. And all of these need to change to EBB 36. Okay, so that should set us up to be able to access it. But we still need to install the stuff to do it from the Klipper docs. So if we go to the Klipper docs and go to resonance compensation and measuring resonances, we need to do the installs of this stuff, right? Which should already be in the main sale image that I used. So do I actually need to do this? The new main cell images already have it. I have an EBB. This is a 1.2, right? The newest one. Mounting the accelerometer, configuring, software installation. This software installation should already be done. So I think we can go in and check that by running the test here. So we're going to check the setup. So we're going to do an accelerometer query. We'll check. If these don't work, then we'll do the installs. But I think, did we already restart? Yes. So we can go here and do an accelerometer query, and we are getting values. So it can see that. Now we're gonna check, we don't have any fans on, so we should be able to check the measure axis noise. Measure axis noise, and unknown command. So does that mean that it's not installed? If that's an unknown command, does that mean things are not installed? You should add input shaper. Oh, that was just setting that up. You're right. Input shaper and config. Let's go to, let's go here. ET gray. And let's go to machine and input shaper and resonant tape tester. That's what I need, right? This part. Resonant tester, ADXL 1345, and my pro points are going to be 137.5 and 132.5. Yeah. Oops. 32.5. Okay. That's what I want. And then input shaper should, I've got values down here in the saved area, so it'll update those. Do you do this often?
The input shaping?
Yeah.
I suppose I do it twice. After at the start, after I set up everything, and then after retensioning the belts and everything and all the screws after like 48 hours of printing, and then I do it again, and then at that point I leave it. So we got
results now. So the IONet was correct. I needed to do some additional configuration. The resonance tester stuff needed to be set up. So now I should be able to home and run a shaper calibrate. We're at 35. We can make it 35 away in 16 minutes. We're on that pace of 2 per minute, right? Need 2 per minute. Okay. And then, yeah, I think we should be able to do now shaper calibrate. Yep.
Do you ever look at the graphs it generates or not?
Oh yeah, we'll bring those up. That's going to impact the numbers. The Bowden tube is sitting there against the... I'm going to cause all kinds of trouble with this. But there we go. Ah! I keep hitting keys on my keyboard. Yeah, we're okay. Watching an Indy 500 parallel. Is there always that much carnage? Is there a big wreck? Noise cancel off. I can't actually hear anything here, even myself. I can't even hear anything. Does liking increase the odds of winning? What do you think, Dutch? If someone likes, will they have a better chance of winning?
There's only one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out. That's a great answer. I love that answer. There's only one way to find out. We need to ask whoever is the winner, did they like? And if we do enough of those questions, that we will see a trend over time. Why risk it? That's another great comment. Yep. We are running Input Shaper right now, so although you can't really see anything, the toolhead is vibrating, and I can't even really hear it. It's actually quite it's actually quiet. Ram, you won twice? Well, you'll have another chance today. Oh, is that done?
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, no, now it's doing Y? Yeah. Survey all the winners and throw out the results if they say no. Exactly. Mad Shammy, what? Nope, we haven't done it yet. We got 13 more minutes. 13 minutes and 20 likes. Our ratio there is improving. We have 290 people here. We should be able to make it there. LDO kit and spool. Oh yeah.
Oh, somebody unliked.
Somebody unliked. Oh,
yep.
they're in the process. They're going unlike like. As long as they do it an odd number of times, we're good.
Yep.
Okay, this is. I'll be curious what this looks like. Regardless of what it looks like, we're gonna start a print here as soon as it's done. We're gonna start a print and then probably look at the graphs. Only cat owners can win. We're 7 away. And we've got 12 minutes. We're gonna continue the streak. Continuing the streak. Built a LDO Trident, wondering if it's normal for white residue on the lead screw Teflon. Causes squeaking during Z moves until I clean the dust off. I'd put a little bit of grease on there. Something, some super lube or some little lithium grease or something. Have you picked a print? Yes, we're gonna be printing the ZeroG Astronaut with 0 infill in a co-extruded Matter Hackers Quantum blue and green filament. With a complete WAG on the printer profile.
What slicer are you running these days?
Prusa slicer.
Prusa slicer? The new version, 2.6?
I think on this printer I still have 2.5.
Okay.
I ran this computer. I have ran 2.6 on the other one. So that finished. I'm going to I'm just going to save the config. We're going to start the print, and then we'll go through and extract those graphs. I updated to beta 3, Colin. I didn't just go to, I overachieved to beta 3. Did you know beta 3 was out?
Is it out?
It is.
When?
They didn't unlike, they just liked twice.
Oh, 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was really recent.
Okay.
Okay, input shaper is done. Let's put the filament on. And here, let's do a preheat. Let's get this heated up. Have you ever tried the Orca? I have not tried Orca Slicer yet. I haven't taken the time. Your 3 youngest fans just blew my ears out with hi, Steve. Hey, kids. Okay, so filament here, into here. That should go there. And I need to up the filament temperature a bit more so I can get it loaded. I think I have to get myself a cat. Everybody needs a cat. I like how you can access the printer UI from the slicer. Interesting. Hey, Doc. Everything did go well. The instructions worked really well for flashing the EBB36. No problems there. Everything was good.
I wish I had those instructions a while ago.
Okay, we are going to put some pressure here and extrude. There we go. It caught it. So we're going to extrude some plastic. Let things get up to speed, and then we're going to try a profile and get a print going. Steve mentions Prusa Beta 3 is out and GitHub goes down. And one more extrude, I think. I'll have to set up a load filament macro, figure out how much it needs to push to get to the end. It's probably somewhere around 80 millimeters, I think. Let's see. What is this? Yeah, I think probably about 80, 85 millimeters will be the load. Okay, so that's loaded. I missed beta 3 release, but I just downloaded now. Does GitHub work for everyone else? Seen a few different extruders now in your builds. Got any preference? Not really. They've all worked. I don't really have a preference. And I haven't used this one yet, so. If you've never had a your foreign long hair, don't, unless you want a cat that has to have its humans present while it eats. That's
holding
funny.
back the hairs.
Okay, so we are ready to go. So let's go to printables. Let's take a little detour over to printables. And what are we searching for? ZeroG?
Yeah, ZeroG Astronaut, you'll find it.
ZeroG Astro. That's this guy? The official by none other than Dutchdude. Who's that?
I don't know. Some random Dutch dude.
Hey, Kurt. So official ZeroG Astronaut. Let's go here and we're gonna download this. Not gonna sign up. Not gonna sign up. Oh, what do you want to do? We're gonna save it to the stream file right here. I know. Okay, so that's there.
This will also test your cooling.
What? Well, we'll
As
find
steep
out.
overhangs on the ears.
Okay, and Prusa Slicer. And this is going to be 2.5. It's not even the latest version of 2.5. But it'll be fine. Let's see. Let's base this on one of my Tridents, probably. Let's just go. That'll work. Nope, not that one. That one. So we are going to go to printer settings. We're going to set our bed size. X is 275 and Y is 265. And say okay. Our Z I think we have in the slicer is 240 and one extruder. And we'll leave my, yep, all my start stuff is fine. Everything else should be okay. I mean, we're gonna be at a, we're just gonna go for a, do I have anything where I matter hackers? What did I print with the matter hackers stuff? I think I used it on my ender wire. Maybe it's up here, ender wire. Enderwire Quantum. There we are. And print settings. We're gonna go with our PLA for V2 and Trident. Okay, so print settings for this. How many perimeters should we do? 2 or 3 or?
Yeah, I would do 3. Yeah.
3?
Yeah, that's fine.
And
you would just want to make sure your ensure vertical thickness is turned on.
Ensure vertical wall thickness is on.
Yeah, because on the top of the head, the layers stack in a way that if you don't have that on, and if you only do a few bottom of top layers, it's gonna have issues like gaps in there.
Yeah. Couple of questions in chat. So Alan saying, thank you for Mercury 1.1. Just finished upgrading a second SK Go using the 1.1 motion system, and it at least doubled the performance. Awesome design. Awesome.
That's awesome.
Didn't
know it fit on that, but that's good to know.
Steve, is your Klipper firmware available for this build? So I am terrible, and I admit it. I'm terrible about getting this stuff out there. Part of the reason is a lot of the recent builds, I don't feel like I've actually finished. This one, I need to go through and figure out why the dock stuff isn't working right with Clicky. Once I do that, I'll get it out on GitHub. However, anybody who wants it early, poke me in my Discord. Or send me an email to my YouTube published email. I will send you whatever, just knowing that it's not finished. But I feel like stuff that goes out to GitHub needs to be fairly vetted. So, okay. Ensure vertical wall. Is there anything else I should worry about on the settings?
No, not really.
0% infill.
Layer lines.
Let's see what it looks like. Let's put Mercury One, ZeroG Astronaut. What is the size of this thing coming in? That's not bad. Let's slice it. Let's see what it says for time. So it's 2 hours, so we won't see the whole thing, but we'll get a... Yeah, there's nothing there that says it'll be a problem. There needs to be an easier way to set up Klipper. What was the link again? Let your color configure a Nerf blaster. If you look at the description for that video, Sean, there is the Thingiverse link, and at the Thingiverse link is the configurator link. Should I go smaller than this? Someone said I could go 50%.
Oh, that's pretty small. You could. Shouldn't take too long anyway, since it has no infill.
Well, it said 2 hours. At 50,
2 hours.
At 50%, it said. Well, let's look at our speeds. Let's up our speeds. We can. Oh yeah, these speeds are terrible.
Oh,
speeds are terrible. What should we do here? Our perimeters, we're going to go 160. We're not going to go nuts on this. I think small perimeters 120, and a lot of this is going to be just guesses. Infill doesn't matter because we don't have any. But our solid infills are going to be, might apply. Let's try that and see where we get on the time. Even so, it still says, so let's look at our max volumetric speed. What is our max volumetric speed we can get out of PLA on a Rapido?
Oh, well, I would say at least 20. Rapido melts quite fast.
Let's see if this was...
Not sure about the PLA though.
It's not impacting it. It's still saying in 1 hour and 5 minutes. So where is our speed? Volumetric flow rate. We're not even hitting that with those speeds. We could go higher on the speeds. Time maybe? Oh yeah, and cooling?
Yeah, we don't have infill. Oh yeah, there you go.
Where's the minimum layer time?
Slow down.
It's below 45 seconds. Holy moly. We want this to be really low, right?
No, you want that to be on. That's when the fan turns on, if the layer is less time than that. The other one is slowing it down.
5 seconds? Let's see what that does. Oh yeah, 29 minutes. It cut it in half. It cut it in half. Let's make this a little bigger too. Let's go 75% scale. Even there's 52 minutes. This is going to be about 40 minutes. Oh, and we're at time. We are at giveaway time. So we're going to play with these settings a little more before we get it started. Let's do the giveaway. Let's do the giveaway. So we are giving away a Polymaker Filament. If you're in the US or Canada, then you'll get a coupons to the Polymaker store. If you're outside the US, you get to choose from a list of filament. You'll get an email from me, usually within a day or two of this stream. You'll get it. So, is there anything in particular that made you choose the Bondtech over the LDO Orbiter? I had the Bondtech on hand and I hadn't used it yet. That's exactly why. Okay, Danny's here. Is everybody here? Let's make sure everybody's here first. Is everybody here? That's not what I wanted to do. Make sure everybody's here. We have entries, so I am going to close the entries when I haven't had a new entry in 3 seconds. So link is in the pin post or in the description. You have 3 seconds to get your entry in. So 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to close the entries now. Okay, so entries are closed. Give you all the time. So Dutch, you're the guest. What is the range? Oh, and I probably want to bring up. Actually, let me export this. Let's export this. I'm just not all there. We did make 300 likes, Joker Nut. We did. We kept the streak alive. What am I showing? Okay, so I want here, and we're done with here. So let's go Wheel of Names. So Dutch, what is the range that we should be using for shuffling this?
Are we going double digits?
It is up to you. You are the guest. It's your choice for our range between some number and another.
So how old is Charlie now?
Charlie is 16. He will be 16 in next month.
Let's do 1 through 16.
1 through 16. So
Yeah.
1 through
Yeah,
16.
I'm not gonna do 100.
What's the number? No, number between 1 and 16. Did you enter?
No, I didn't.
Are you a Polymaker partner?
Nope.
You should have entered.
Nah. I'm on the stream. Let them have fun.
1 through 16. What number stuck out? Are you watching chat?
7 a lot.
There's a lot of 7s? Okay. We're gonna go. There's always a lot of 7s. So we're gonna shuffle this 7 times. Oh, and we're gonna get, that was 1, but we're gonna close the ad. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and spin. Try to focus on one eye.
Or don't.
Okay, who do we got? Who's gonna win? We have Zames Sobrian. Are you here? You have 2 minutes to say something in chat. Zames O'Brien. Zames O'Brien. Zames O'Brien, are you here? Let's see. If you say something, I'll see it. Someone will see it. Congratulations. And yes, we would like to know, did you like the stream? And Steve, is your Klipper firmware available for this build? Firmware, so configuration, not yet. But if you send me a message, I can get it to you. It's not complete though. There are issues we've already found. Zames O'Brien. Zams O'Brien.
I don't see him yet.
Not yet.
Nope.
Yeah, they got 1 minute. Not taggable, but we've found that to be. Of course, we like the stream. Who wouldn't? Exactly. Timer is on. Yes, we got 45 seconds. There you are. James O'Brien. Hey. Congratulations. You will get an email from me. Let me get your. Huh?
Did he like it? The stream?
Did you like the stream?
Yeah,
did you hit like? Not only liked it, but actually hit like. See, there's two different things there. James, you have a good email address there. Of course I liked it. That's the right answer. That's the answer that gets a... Awesome. Congratulations. Let me close that. Get that off my phone, and let's get back to printing. Where were we? We need the slicer up here. We're at 52 minutes for a 75% scale. I think that's pretty good. So let's export this. Export this here. Streams are always excellent. Awesome. Okay, so then we can go back here. When we are preheated, I'm just gonna go through my whole, so I still have my, well, and now I'm realizing I need to look at Kyle's start G-code stuff that he sent me that I haven't done yet because I've been distracted. I still do a mostly manual process when I start a print, so I will home. I will home, I'll Z-tilt, all that, and then I'll start the print. Mad Shemmy, thanks for the gift of memberships. Oh, did I miss anything? Did you check the max excels in Prusa Slicer? Yeah, they're in the several thousand range. We'll look at the graphs and see where they should be, but we're just getting a print going. And we're gonna do a Z-tilt. And we're not even gonna run a bed mesh on this. We're just gonna do a print.
That should be flat enough.
It's okay, it doesn't really work yet. Okay. Yeah, I got some extra retries. Got to figure out what's going on with that. It adjusted by 0.72 millimeters total. Nope, Charlie's up. Yep. Lots of retries. Could be this magnet, it could be the particular, oh, yep, it did it. So let's do this again. Restart it.
Is the tolerance and the config too small?
It's the same tolerance I use for everything. I think it's 0.0075. It's got to be switch or magnet interface or something. Yep, it's not passing on that back one. Let's try it again. Galileo 2 is not released. And I have not built any 2.4s with kinematic bed mounts. However, I do have a set of the Whopping Puckered kinematic mounts. I just haven't installed them on anything. If I try a different switch, I need to redo my Z offset. Yeah, it's gonna fail again. It's not passing on that back one. Let's try a different switch. Let's home all. That's annoying. It doesn't, see, this is another part of the setup that it doesn't lower Z, and that's something I need to work on. Okay, let's get this out of here. Maybe change the probe speed to something lower. Is Hydra moving to try to, no. Okay, I'm gonna try a different switch just to see if that makes any difference. I have another one here that's all ready to go. So let's home again. I had to bend out the legs a bit so it got better connection. It's not a connection issue, it's a consistency issue. So let's do a Z tilt now. I could change my probe speed though too. Someone mentioned that. It might be a little high. Oh, that one went right through. Something's wrong. This is a brand new setup. This is the fresh one. This one's working fine. So something's wrong with this probe. And I just built this morning. It's going, no retries. No retries, it's perfect right now. So it's all in this. Okay, what are you doing? What is it doing?
I think it probes the bed after the Z tilt to get the 0 point again.
Oh, okay. So I think we're ready to start a print. Let's upload the ZeroG astronaut. Okay. It's the wrong color. If I had done this in yellow, it would have been fine, huh? We set our Z offset before. Let me turn this off and let Charlie out. Oh, and I'm about to hit buttons with the keyboard again. Okay, let's print. Let's see. Unpin the link. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Andres. Unpin. I'm gonna pay attention to this a little, keep a little close eye on this, and then we'll figure out if I can get a better camera angle at it. I'll find some way to get a camera angle at this, but I want to pay attention to this first layer first. Our Z offset, I've got the tuning menu up here so I can adjust. Well, that's looking pretty decent. Oh, it's a little low. I mean, a little high. See if I can get this down a little bit in time for it to do the actual print. It's just doing the skirt right now. I might even be a little too low now. A lot of skirt was a good thing. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I think I caught it in time, so we're just gonna go for it. Okay, let's move this back, and how can I get, what is something tall enough that I can get the tripod onto?
The V0.
I can't set the V0 right here though. Maybe we can pull this off of here. Maybe I can just do, oh yeah, this.
There we go.
I got more ideas. I got more ideas. I've got this guy. This has got a cool little magnetic thing. What if I do that? And then, oh, come on. Haha. And then, there. Perfect.
It works. There you go.
Perfect. Revo Flyho has been putting in work printing parts of my Trident. Awesome. It's printing. What's our fan speed? Fans at 100%? Mercury One is printing.
Awesome.
Very happy. Yeah. Good job, Dutch.
You too, for building it.
This camera is not great. Is it worse than the other one? The colors at this point are not great, are they? What nozzle size is this? 0.4. It's a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. We're pushing plastic. Seems a bit saturated. I have a lot of, I can change some of that. I don't know if I can change it on the fly. Is there settings down here? Let's see if I can pull this up. Dell Peripheral Manager. Let me see, color and image. Can I turn off HDR? Is this the first time you've used a 2mm lead screw in a build? I don't often use 2mm lead screws, but one of my early V0s had it. Is that a little better? Turn the saturation down. Is that better? The colors aren't as bright. Definitely tell that. Maybe we go here. Maybe right there. Worse? Is it better now though? Did I change the saturation back up a little bit? That's not bad there. I'm not gonna sit here and play with it too much. But what we should be able to do, hopefully, is do some, get those graphs. So I'm going to grab those, create those graphs. And just while we're watching that, I'm just gonna go through here and generate the two input shaper graphs for X and Y. Just following the Klipper docs. See if we cause any hiccups. Lower contrast a little. Try that. Lowered contrast a little bit. And where's the focus? Camera control. Autofocus off. And does that look decently in focus? So I turned autofocus off, and in my view, it's kind of hard to tell if it's well in focused or not. How does it look to you, Dutch?
Doesn't look focused.
It doesn't look focused?
No, looks like the focus is way in the back.
Does that get better?
Oh yeah, I got a lot better.
A lot better. Okay. The problem with the way my screens are set up right now, my view of my preview is only about this big.
Oh,
on the screen. So, did you notice the link to the camera I use? I sent you on Doom. I don't remember seeing that, Doc, or I'll have to look again. Yeah, input shaper results are looking good. I'll get those copied over here in a bit. And the second one. First layer's not streaming today, so now you're stuck with me. I'll take it. I'll take it. A lot better, okay. You know, the nice thing is the interface is pretty decent. At least I have the adjustments here. If I just play around and get used to how to adjust this, it might work out okay. Yeah, so this has come back with MZV for X and ZV for Y, which is good because it means it didn't see any funky multiple humps on either. Here are the running the generators for the files. So let's go ahead and grab those. Let's go to WinSCP and to the Mercury One. And we can go back to temp and grab these two files here. Now, here, stream Mercury One. Grab
with
these
Dutch and stream, do you get a serial?
With Dutch on stream, do I get a serial?
I mean, you have to post a video of it printing.
I'm posting a video right now.
I could.
This doesn't count?
Is the wiring clean?
No, it's terrible.
Oh, okay.
It's the worst wiring I've ever done. What serial number would this be?
What serial would that be? Let's find out. I have a bot for that.
I can post a video. Jay Cannon is right. I'm not going to cheat. If your normal process is to post a video, I'll post a video.
I can use this YouTube URL. That's fine.
Huh?
You should see that in a second. 215. There you go.
215. That's a good number. I like it.
Yep.
My first try-in is 210.
It's out of beta now.
It's out of beta?
Yeah. We have like 200 plus B serials. But we don't hand those out anymore. Those are limited.
I see. Bottom bay is open still. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's got a top. It's closed. Okay, if we go here, I've copied those. So let's look at what the X looks like. There we go. There's X. It has some problems. It has some things to clean up. I need to check my individual resonances and see how my belt tensions are and all that kind of stuff. So, and here's Y. Ooh, Y is clean.
There you go.
So I got to look at something in X. What's going on there?
Is that the?
And it could be the having taken the measurement so far away up there on the toolhead board. But those are the two. That's Y and that's X.
Is this the one you had your RC hitting?
Oh, you're right. I did have the Bowden tube, so I'll have to run these again. I'll have to run these again with the printer clear because the Bowden tube was bouncing against an RC wheel. Let's go back here. Don't forget you moved the printer while I was doing X. Yep. We did all kinds of bad stuff while I was doing X. So.
It's quite funny because I just got a serial request of a guy that has a 45-degree bed on the Mercury One.
45-degree bed. What does that mean?
His bed is literally at 45 degrees.
Really?
Yeah. I'll send you the URL. Not sure if you want to check it out.
You sent it?
Yep.
Holy moly. Let me see if I can bring this up. Is all the let's see. Copy link. I'm going to show this on stream here. So this is a typical this is not a typical ZeroG serial request, but
nope.
Let's look at this. I'm going to mute this because we don't really need any sound, and I don't know if there's any background music. So that is interesting. That's a ZeroG gantry on a 45-degree Z bed. That is not what I would have expected to see. You guys see that? Is this yours, Dominic? That is clever and very interesting. Wow.
Active problem, why? I haven't seen this before, to be honest. Not like this.
Wow. That is interesting. We're almost done. Is that the ZeroG version of the thread mill? What's the advantage of the 45-degree bed? What's the use case here, Dominic? Inspired by the CR30. What's your use case there? Is it just to do it? Because that's plenty of use case for me.
Now, does that? So I'm watching that, and does that just use CoreXY kinematics with a belt kind of slicer then?
45
like
is immune to overhangs. Well, there's still going to be overhangs of some sort. It's just where they are. Which ones are you concerned about? Because why not is a good use case, yes. Can we do it? Sure. Should we do it? Why not?
I have a few IDs like that.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. This is doing good. We'll be able to see this finish, I think. Set up exactly the same as a 45-degree belt. Idea Maker Slicer. Is that better for the belt printing? Slice it just like a 45-degree printer. I'm a glutton. I just ordered a V0.2 LDO kit. Why? Why not? You only have a couple of choices for slicers at 45 degrees. What are those choices, Scott? What are your options there? So pressure advance, specific extruder multiplier, and stuff are not tuned on this, but it does not look bad at all. What is printing? This is the ZeroG astronaut, Alan. Is that the Bowden we're seeing through the fan? Yes, it is. It's a little tube going between the LGX light and the Rapido. Idea Maker, Kirimoto, and very old Cura Black Belt. Okay. Just received a Micron Plus kit from Fabrico. Awesome. But it struggles with the big STL files. Astronaut's name is Bob. Okay. Yeah, this looks great.
Is it named Bob now?
Apparently, it's named Bob.
I guess we'll call it Bob now.
We'll call it Bob? Perfect. It's just in the same...
Oh,
same...
it's Max now.
Oh, it's Max?
Yeah, according to Scott.
Astronaut's name is Max, actually. And Billy Bob Max?
You should get a printable model of Charlie.
I need to, but I'm not an organic modeler. I need somebody to model it for me.
A little 3D scan with your phone.
He told me he was called Fred. What else does he tell you? Actually, could put the little bit of tube between the extruder and the hot end be replaced with something metal, like a bit of aluminum pipe? Sure, but I don't think you'd gain anything. What would be your hope? What would you want to improve by doing that? I love him and squeeze him and name him George. Old Looney Tunes. I can't tell you that, Steve. Well, we're gonna hang out here until this is done. You got time?
I got time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for being here. This is awesome. I know it's very late for you. What time is it there?
Well, it's only 10:30.
Oh, it's only 10:30? Okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Thinking as more stiffness, the tube can flex a bit. Hey, welcome, Jeff. You're just in time for it to print.
Now, did you see that picture of Scott testing out the tables at Rocky Mountain Rep Fest?
I did.
Good, good.
I did.
Everybody needs to see that.
Everybody needs to have that burned into their retinas.
Yep. I'm spreading it everywhere.
Gonna creep, gotta drive to Arizona. Be safe, Danny. Any way to modify the EVA duct to hold a nozzle cam? Has anybody done that?
No, you could. Especially since we're getting rid of that mill fan.
Yeah.
Path. So you should be able to
sneak one down in there.
Something there. Yeah. You could.
This is a Rapido, Rich. The Fadus Rapido. See ya, Kyle. Have a good week. How many drivers do I need for the Mercury 1.1? 7. 7 total. No, 6. 6 total. You need 3 for the Z, 2 for A and B, and 1 for the extruder. So I have a 5 driver controller and then a CAN board on the toolhead that has the 6th driver.
That's if you would get Hydra as well, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a good point. You only need more than 5 if you're doing Hydra. So Stealth Burner already has one set up for a nozzle cam. See, so can you put Stealth Burner on here?
Yes. There is a one but you have to put the rail in front, get the actual normal Stealth Burner files from Voron, that works.
Okay.
The only thing is, if you look from the top, the belts on Y coming from the 2 idlers and the smooth idlers
end up being
they
angled?
will be off by 1 millimeter on an angle.
Okay.
Not sure if that affects it too much, but It could affect it, I guess. I've never tested that.
You will have some errors at the extremes of your X motion.
There you go.
Some. I don't know if it's perceptible or actually matters, but there will be some errors.
Now, with the step files released, you only have to move a few faces in order to fix that. You just have to measure that up and move the faces and you're done.
Arpedo is probably what I'm going to put in my 2.4. Only need rails and bearings to start my build. Awesome. Do you know of any boards that have 6 stepper drivers that can handle 48 volts for steppers? Probably any of the Octopus Pro. I don't know if the Manta M8P does. It might. But you're not going to look for boards that have 6 or 7. You're probably going to be looking at boards that have 8. Because it pretty much goes, in the most case, it's more common to go from 5 to 8 stepper support. Physetic has a 6 driver board. I don't know if it supports high voltage stuff though.
Their new Spider 3.0 does have 2 high voltage steps.
Yeah.
Not sure if that's released yet, actually. Just seen some pictures in Discord.
Yeah. I'm running a 235 by 235 bed and have the stealth burn. Have not had any issues so far with it, so I'm not running a bigger bed. Awesome. The M8P does 48 volts. Okay. Didn't 24/7 printer do something like that with their V0 58 volt power supply? A 6 driver board costs more than an 8 driver. I looked. Yeah. Art Chapman, another great stream. Got to get moving and get my day started. Take care. Give Charlie lots of huggies. Thanks to Dutchdude for hanging out today and for the Mercury build. Thanks for being here, Art Chapman. My Ender 3 has an octopus board. Use what you have, right? I've been happy with any octopus, but go ahead. What?
So this board is where you get the most overhang. So.
Oh, yeah. Let's see what this is looking like. Oh yeah, we'll see some artifacts on the print when it's done.
There you go.
But yeah, it's curling up a little bit.
Up.
Hmm?
If it's curling up, doesn't that mean usually you have too much cooling?
No, I think that's not enough.
That's when it's curling down, right?
On overhangs. On overhangs. The Spider 2.3 also has 2 high voltage stepper drivers. Okay. I have a Spider with high voltage capacity, but I don't have any Spiders installed and stuff. The issue is that I need 4 high voltage stepper drivers. Oh. Super 8 Pro. There's so many board options out there now. So many options. What is our 55% here? It says it's been going for 26 minutes, and we got about 25 minutes left. If you're going high voltage steppers, would that mean 5160 drivers? Yes. Yeah, and you need them to be capable of that. You want to make sure that you get drivers that are specifically capable of high voltage. It is not printing in vase mode, it's just printing with 0 infill. We've got 3 parameters, but it's also ensuring vertical wall thickness, so some areas may have more. Oh, it seems I did send you the link to the wrong stock. Oops. That's okay. I'm not complaining. Yeah, he's talking about the Nerf blaster, the foam dart. Oh, you can't see that here. Well, you can see it in my little picture. Foam dart blaster. The stock wasn't quite correct. Steve, I have a V0 2.4, 2.4 350, Trident 300, Pusha 3+X sitting here. Don't know which to build first. I've been stuck in a wheelchair, had a bad motorcycle crash, into a Mack truck. Ouch. I hope you're fully, I mean, as recovered as you can be and able to move around, but ouch. Trident. Do your Trident 300 first. If that helps you, that's my suggestion. I sent the right one. I'm sure Look will take that one back. I'll order the right one. It's not a big deal there. Is there anything better than 5160? It seems like we've had 2209 and 5160 for a while. For the higher current stuff, I think 5160 is it.
Got an issue.
It came off the bed.
Yep.
It came off the bed. Bed adhesion problem. Building spaghetti. Oh, well.
It's part of his suit, actually, for air and electronics.
What's that?
For the astronaut suit.
Yeah. Well, fail. But that's okay. We can see how it did on the rest of it. It probably caught one of the bits curling up. And but otherwise, it was doing well up to that point. I might have been a little high on my first layer, but I also haven't done a proper cleaning of this bed yet. I need to take it and do a detergent cleaning on it for the first go. Nope, that's not focusing very well. I'm not holding it in the right spot for it to focus very well. But look at that filament. That's cool, isn't it?
That's awesome. Now we have to wait until they do ABS like that.
Yes. Yes. That's his oxygen tube. Yeah. So what I think we're going to do at this point, I think we're done. I'm not going to start this print again. I am going to start this print again, and then I'll post a picture to Twitter with it done. But I think we're going to wrap it up. This has been a fun build. I am looking forward to actually using it. So we're at almost 4 hours here. You've been a trooper sitting here for the whole time. I appreciate it.
I left a few times, but I'm good.
Yeah. King glue ahead in the suit. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there you go. That works. Yeah, fixed.
There. We'll set that right there. What's the Twitter account? My Twitter account is Steve_builds. At Steve_builds. Printer is working, Neptar. All right, thanks for the stream, Steve. Yep. So, thanks Dutch and Turtle and the rest of the testing team with ZeroG. This was, like I said, a pretty fun build. Couple of things I need to wrap up on the config, but we'll be, I'll post that stuff when I'm done. Huge thanks to Fabrico. Fabrico's been a pretty big supporter of this, huh? From very early on. There were parts and kits available for this really early.
Yep. He tends to do that with a lot of new projects since he wants new stuff to get out there, which is really nice of him.
Yeah.
Helps you get a bigger audience for your project, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy to plug Fabrico for this, not just because they provided the parts and the printer to do this build series, but because he is such a good such a good supporter of projects like this. So
yep.
Thanks to Big Tree Tech again for providing most of the electronics for this. So, and huge thanks. We had a huge number of gifted memberships today. A lot of people came in. I suggest you check out yesterday's Charlie's Angel stream. That was a whole lot of fun. And the next one I think it's going to be June 10th. So it's going to be relatively quick, but I think that's the only weekend I have free in June to do the Charlie's Angels stream. So with that, thanks again, Dutch. Huge thanks. Thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody. And I hope everybody has a good rest of the weekend. A lot of people have a long weekend this weekend, so yeah. So anything else comes up, catch me on Discord or an email, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, everyone. And thanks again, Dutch. And you can stick on, Dutch, for the end of this. But,
sure.
Okay, bye. Okay, that should be clear.